I don't know if you've noticed, but I just came back from vacation. I've only been back for a day, and already I've almost witnessed 6 car accidents because of stupid driving. So I don't know what's happened in the past week when I was gone, but everyone got stupid.
I haven't driven much. I drove for maybe like 40 minutes yesterday, and that's about it. I went to do a Kijiji pickup, or a Facebook Marketplace pickup for something for my wife. And while I was out, I'm like, well, there was a garage sale in this neighborhood. I'll drive through the neighborhood and look for free stuff. I found free stuff. Nothing crazy, but...
Nothing crazy, yeah. Yeah, it's been nuts.
It's all the driving I've done, I think, for a week. Yeah, last weekend we did our camping trip.
Yeah.
Cottage trip.
Literally coming back from on the 401, we saw like...
Well, that's your problem.
Sorry, 400 to 401, but on the 400,
yeah,
there was a car that was the remnants of being on fire.
Well, good.
Yes. And then proceeded to see several cars like cut over multiple lanes of traffic, weaving in and out, and riding on shoulders to get past transport trucks.
So that's all near Toronto. Was there anything in our area?
So I was at work today and saw someone driving down the wrong way down a one-way street.
Nice.
On Herb Street, if you know where that becomes. It's a one-way. Yep, driving the wrong way down there. And again, saw 3 people merge across 4 lanes of traffic to make the flyover cut off. Because I drive past it 6 times a day, and so 2 of the times I went through, yes, saw people do it. It's just crazy. I don't understand.
I think they've just always been bad.
But maybe I'm just way more aware of it now.
Maybe after driving on the 401 and the 400, yeah.
After having having a week of no driving.
Yeah.
Right, where I'm just I'm stationary. So all of a sudden, everything just seems ridiculous. Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did do some driving earlier in the month. I was in Toronto area because my wife and I went to a concert.
Ooh.
And I remember seeing bad driving on that trip too. I think I might even save the videos on the dash cam, but I haven't checked the dash cam. I usually do it like once every 6 months or so to get the videos off it. But we went to see a concert because my wife wanted to go see them. And I was like, ask your friends, ask your sister, see if anybody else wants to go first. Because I don't need to go see that band. So I ended up going with her because her sister didn't want to go. She had no attachment. And her friends from high school also did not remember liking the band. The band is Kittie. Kittie. They are a Toronto band. Well, Brampton they're from, but Toronto area. And they're a girl metal band.
Okay.
It's decent. I didn't dislike being there. And there was also the 2 opening acts were also Toronto-based, like, metal bands. One was a all-girl band, and the other one was, like, husband-wife trans couple. Okay. And it was just the 2 of them. They had a third member that was there with them, but everything I looked up about them to see their name before, like, who are they? It seemed like there was just the 2 of them, but I guess they wanted another person to play the drums, basically.
Yeah, they're doing live stuff, right? So,
but the one, I'm going to say the man, because I don't know if he identifies as a man or not, but he had the long hair, and he called himself a gay man, so he was really good on guitar, and he was doing stuff with the effects pedal that was cool. Like, he would start off, play a riff, and then loop it for himself to play along with and his spouse to sing with. Like, they were doing really good, and they were from Hamilton. I forget what they were called. Vile Creature was what they were called. And then the other band that was first, I forget what they were called, but they were really good too. If you like screaming music, the first one and the third one, like the one we went to go see, had a lot of screaming. Yeah, I don't usually like screaming music, but
I went through a phase, so I'm tolerant of it.
Yeah. I can enjoy it as long as there's regular singing somewhere in there too.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kittie definitely did that decent, but
cool.
Yeah. That was fun. It was an adventure.
What day was that?
Go on a date with my wife. I don't remember. It was earlier in the month.
Clickety clacky, and let's check your calendar.
You asked me a question. I got to answer it, right? Of course I can't. It was a Friday. Oh my God, the 5th. I thought.
Okay, so beginning of the month.
Yeah, it's not right, is it? My calendar is showing 2-day form instead of week form, and that's annoying. Yeah, I don't remember. No, it was on the 12th. 12th? Yeah, 12th.
Still earlier.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we went there and ate some food at some barbecue restaurant, and in walking distance of the place we went. Oh, and the place we went was History, is what it's called. It's like a big concert theater, but it's all standing only.
Okay.
Apparently Drake is a part owner of it.
Okay.
So while we were there, we were near the lake in Toronto, the far east side by the water, and Morgan, that I trade tapes with, lives in a similar area. He was only 10 minutes away. So I messaged him and said, "Hey, I'm coming down. Do you want some tapes?" So I brought him a box of 45 tapes, and he's also from the Toronto area, or lives in the Toronto area for a long time, and in the media industry. So I mentioned to him that we were going there. He's like, "Oh, I hear really good things about the audio of that place, and it's doing really well, and all that stuff." And he's the one that told me Drake was a part owner of it. So, well, he said owner, so I don't know, but yeah,
I'm sure he's part owner of many things.
Probably. It sounded like he was part of the reason why it has good audio and why it's doing it's popular or whatever.
Okay.
But it was a smaller venue, which was neat too.
Yeah, smaller, more intimate. Those can be fun shows.
Yeah. So I put a video of that on the Instagrams. I meant to put it on Twitter, and I don't think I did.
I don't remember seeing it, so.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. And Dean commented saying he's going to check them out.
Well, Dean, let us know how they are.
Oh, and there was a dude there. I forgot. I have this written down, but I forgot I was going to tell you. There was a guy there with his girlfriend, and they were clearly in their early 20s, and he busts out his 3DS to take pictures.
That's funny.
That was great. Yep.
He wants the 3D experience.
Yep.
Funny.
And great.
He was just trying to max out his street pass.
His street pass. Yeah. I actually thought about street pass when he pulled it out. I'm like, how many more are there here? Probably just that one. If he had a Game Boy camera, I'd be even more impressed. But
that would have been great.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think that was going to happen. I kind of wished I had one there to take a picture with, just to one up him.
You got to bring the vintage digital zoom camera, you know.
I know. I thought about that. That would have been really cool. They did have a rule about cameras, but I can't remember what it was.
Probably no flash.
Yeah, I think so.
Usually that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get a flash on 3DS, so it's safe.
Right?
Maybe that's the other thing, is you're not looking at it as a camera, so you could sneak it through.
No, I don't think they had strict rules about cameras. There was dudes there with full-on photography, professional cameras. I just don't know if they were working for them or not, but yeah, there was multiple people though.
I mean, generally you want some sort of camera there because it's just promotion, right? If it gets posted on.
Yeah, that's what I picture. They seem to be doing the social media pretty good. I almost thought the social media girl, because she ran by the line when we were all lined up, I almost thought she looked like Hodge's social media girl, but maybe I'm just generalizing that she had the same color hair and the same build. Right. It would have been hilarious if it was the same person though.
Freelancer, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't gone to a concert in forever. I used to do Warped Tour every year, and every time my bands were in the Toronto area, I'd go down or go to London.
Yeah, I prefer audio on the produced CDs than over live concerts, but
that response just reminds me of my dad, because my dad would say the same thing. He's like, why would I pay money when I can listen to it for free at home and not have to deal with people? I'm like, yes,
it's
you're
people and also audio issues. Honestly, if I'm going to a live show, I don't want to have an audio issue, and there was one at this show. Actually, about 3 times they had audio issues. Each band had something go wrong.
Which, I mean, yes, I could understand that, but any show I've been to, I couldn't specifically tell you, oh yes, there was an issue.
Yeah, I don't think there wasn't any of the other ones.
They hit it well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's something about going to a concert and being in a group of people enjoying the music together. Like, it's the same reason, like, oh, why would I go to the theater when I could watch it at home for free? Or, I don't know, it's an experience.
Theater is a bigger screen. That's my...
But I mean, in terms of, like, sound, like, yes, the screen is bigger, but if you want to have... I want to watch it by myself. And people have 75-inch screens in their homes or projectors that they can sit really close to and have the same, like, you know, eye fill ratio, whatever you want to call it. So it's not as big of a deal as it was, you know, when we're all running off of like 13-inch CRTs back in the day, and going to theater was a big deal.
Yeah. I think I forgot to mention that I went and saw another concert, actually. I forgot this wasn't on my list, but on the 1st of the month, I went and saw April Wine, downtown Kitchener, free concert.
Mm-hmm.
The day after, or the day our last podcast came out.
Yes, that was Canada Day.
Yeah, Canada Day. Oh, most of our people are Americans. They don't know this. Well, I guess half, maybe.
We have a lot of Canadian listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to the Kitchener Canada Day celebration.
Free Kitchener celebration. Did you know that there was another one this past weekend in downtown Kitchener?
No.
Where you could see was it Joe Cocker? Joe who is it? And Red Rider, who is that? Yeah. I think it's Joe Cocker. But now it sounds wrong. I'm just gonna Google because yeah. Joe Cocker, Red Rider. Him solo, but he just played, apparently, a coworker just told me today at work, downtown Kitchener today, this past weekend, which was the, why is Google or Windows not let you open it? Anyway, on the 26th on the Friday and the 27th Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I didn't know that was happening. I would have, anytime I can see a classic rock band for free live, I'll try and do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't,
especially because yeah, that's true. I didn't even know it was happening. Apparently there was ads all over, but like someone said mainly at high schools. I don't know why, but
who knows?
Yeah.
I went to the Waterloo Canada Day celebrations where they did the drone show.
Yes,
which was pretty cool. I can see why. Because you'd already seen it, and I invited you to come, but you said you'd already seen it. You move on to you'd go to the other one. And in my mind, I'm just like, but it's a drone show. It could be different every year, but it didn't seem to be too different from what you showed me.
Yeah, I sent you a few pictures.
Yeah, and a video or whatever. And it seemed to be about the same. So I'm like, okay, I can see why. If you've seen it once, if they're not changing it enough.
And I could see them having changed it a lot. Like they could add twice as many drones and make it look way better.
They could, yeah.
I didn't know if they were going to, and because we also hadn't taken our kids to see fireworks in a while, and the April Wine concert, right after the concert, they did fireworks over City Hall, so that was part of it too.
The kids we usually do fireworks to the kids, so we're like, oh, we'll do the drone show. We'll do the drone show to be different, and they enjoyed it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if it's just going to be that again next year, then we'll just go to the next fireworks show.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's cool that they've seen it. And anybody who doesn't know, it's a drone lights show, so they have like 150 drones up in the air, all flying in patterns and making objects and like spelling things out and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
There's no music, right? Or am I crazy?
No, they did pump some music out.
Okay. Yeah, and the drone lights kind of went with the music.
No, it was different. They had like a live DJ guy kind of just playing music.
Oh, okay.
It was, I mean, kind of going along with the music, but I wouldn't say that wasn't the main focus. Or he was just really good at like freestyling along with what the drone was doing. It was cool, but at the same time, yeah, I could see. And we just went for the drone show. Like we hung out at home. We didn't do the whole like eat some like street vendor food or whatever.
We didn't either.
We went a little bit early. They played at the park. We went over to the drone show. We sat down. We waited for 20 minutes. The drone show happened, and we hiked it home. So it wasn't super.
Our
busy.
drive home was terrible from downtown.
The drive was a little bit bad. Yeah.
We could not get it. It took us over 25 minutes just to get out of the parking lot. And that was the biggest problem, was getting out of the parking lot, because no one would let us out. Actually, we had the same problem at the kiddie show. There was just one exit from the parking lot in both cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. We actually parked further away. We parked at the library, Waterloo Library.
Okay.
So we basically walked past all the cars that were parked and couldn't get out.
That's what we normally do, but we decided to wing it this time. And we went so early that we had no problem parking.
Yeah.
But the downside was that we parked so close that everybody walking was going past the exit to get out of here.
Yeah.
It was so bad people were squeezing out between the pillars that were blocking people from leaving, like in this long oval-shaped parking lot. And people were squeezing through pillars to get out to a different street just to get out of there.
Oh, jeez.
And that area was also lined up because it was so bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't imagine who thought that was a good idea, but I guess it's free parking, so
exactly.
we could have parked somewhere else. We won't do that again. That same spot.
Oh. Cool. Well, today is, spoilers, peek behind the curtain. It's July 29th, which, if you haven't been paying attention, is the day that the Xbox 360 Marketplace store closes down.
Oh.
It is officially gone.
I only have one game purchase from there that I actually would have liked. It's probably on my Xbox still, but
you can still download previous purchases.
Okay, so it's just new purchases.
You just can't. You have new purchases.
There was a cool Kinect game on there. It's kind of like a demo of all the Kinect things you could do. I think Top Spot's actually the one who told me about it. I forget what it's called. I think I told you about it years ago, but
possibly. Either way, I don't have
it. Well, I do.
I found a 360 at Value Village for like $20, which is pretty cheap. It was an E model.
Okay.
And so I was like, $20, that's pretty good. I could flip that for more. In the back of my head, I'm just like, I should probably keep this as a spare because I have a lot of 360 games and I do really like my 360. So I kept it as a spare. But in the meantime, I've had to like activate it as a new account, and I basically went through and re-downloaded everything that I possibly could for the 360 to re-download to that throne, so it's a complete backup.
Mm-hmm.
That takes hours. It took me 2 hours just to go through my list and get it to.
Yeah, there's no just one button to be like, hey, download everything, or download as much as I can fit on here, or let me scroll through a list and check them off and then say install all.
I want the check. No, like I have to go click, and then I'm like, oh, that one. Go in, install. It takes a time, and then okay, you're good. Then I back out. Heaven forbid you press the B button twice. You can only press it once. If you get impatient and press it twice, it backs you out to the main menu. Then you have to go back in and then scroll all the way back down to where you left off. Yeah.
Yep. I remember Top Spot talking about similar problems with the PlayStation 3 store, I think, when he was doing something similar.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it took me 2 hours just to go through, get everything downloaded. It took overnight for everything to download. And then even when I checked it a few days later, I'm just like, oh, I'll just check and see if that's working. It hadn't downloaded everything, so I had to go in again and cross-reference, okay, what's downloaded versus what in my purchase history, and figure out what it missed, and then get those ones as well. So,
and I also spent some money.
Yeah, spent some money to get some stuff that is like locked to Xbox Arcade, Xbox 360 Arcade.
Yeah.
So like these things are gonna be gone. So, well,
gone,
quote unquote, gone, until they get re-released or Limited Run gets a hold of it, or
yeah.
So they did have some sales, but nothing great. The one game that I did want, for some reason, just the purchase wouldn't go through.
Oh.
because it was a different price on the 360 versus the Xbox One. It was Bionic Commando Rearmed 2.
Okay.
To buy it on 360 was $1.50, but if you're gonna buy it on Xbox One, it's $14.99. So I was like, oh, I'll just buy it on Xbox 360. But I tried for about a week straight, and it would just error out. It would not let me purchase it.
That's really stupid.
And by the time it was fixed, it was back to $15 on the 360.
Oh, even worse.
But you can still purchase it because it is playable on Xbox One.
Yeah.
You can still buy it on Xbox One.
Yeah, but $1.50 yours is $15. That's a big difference.
Yeah, a big difference. So, the one game that I did get, I wasn't planning on getting it, but I was just like going through the store. Every couple of days I'd go through and just check, okay, like alphabetically, because there's no like, it's not a modern store. I forget how archaic the system was. You literally have to go through, know what game that you want, go into the browse by alphabet, and then go through like A, B, C, and find the game that you want, unless it's featured somewhere, which I don't know, games are featured nowadays, really.
Yeah.
So, I saw on the cover art one called Xenoclash.
That sounds familiar.
And the only reason it popped out to me was because in the bottom right corner it had like an Atlas logo. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I should have a look. It's on Xbox Arcade, of all things. I think it's also on Steam though. Anyways, it was like $8. I was like, that would be cool, and it's not I want to say I don't really know what a typical Atlas game is in, but it doesn't strike me as a typical Atlas game. It's kind of like a distorted first person beat 'em up shooter kind of game. It looks.
Yeah, I see it on Steam.
Is it okay? 1 and 2 probably.
I'm only looking at 1 right now.
So.
Hmm.
Anyways, I bought Xenoclash 1 and 2.
There's a remake of it coming out. Clash Artifacts of Chaos.
That's weird.
Or maybe like a new version of the same
it's a new version
type
or
of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly clear, and I don't feel like reading.
That's fine.
Me researching is bad enough. Everyone listen to me read
Let's
now.
watch you read.
Yeah. Or listen for the audio.
Listen. Yeah. And I also bought the 2 South Park games because, again, I'm with licensing, not sure where those are going to go.
Oh, I have one of them on disc.
There's a Let's Go Tower Defense and then a South Park Tenderman's Revenge.
Okay, those ones, the digital only. I was going to say the disc ones, like the Stick of Truth and...
Yeah, no, I have those ones.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, but I didn't realize they had the other ones.
Yeah, they said like arcade games, and I was like, I doubt those would get re-released anywhere anytime soon, so...
Yeah, it probably all depends on who owns the rights, too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. I do love the 360. It is up there with one of my favorite consoles ever, so.
I like the 360, but even more than the 360 itself, I love the controller.
Yes, absolutely. It is one of the most comfortable controllers.
Yep. To this day, well, as of 6 months ago, whenever I would play PC games with the family or with friends, I'd always pull out 360 controllers. Now I've been doing Xbox One controllers because I have 8 of them. So
yeah, I'm almost like protective of my 360 controllers now because like you're not gonna get any more new ones. So I'm like, the ones that I have, I'm gonna save for my 360, and then I'll just see the. I
just picked up a wired one for you at a garage sale.
You did. That's true.
$5, actually less than $5 because I bundled. But
nice.
Yeah,
I would have been happy with $5 for that too.
Yeah. Seems decent condition.
Cool. Yes, as I'm camping, I'm getting text messages of pictures from there. Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? I'm like, I don't even have to go garage sailing. Derek's going garage sailing for me.
We could have covered more ground if you were there, though, because we didn't have enough time. I had to go pick up a Mewtwo amiibo for my son off Facebook Marketplace. So, and the guy who's selling it seems like he's definitely some kind of reseller.
Yeah.
But he seemed decent, and he gave my son a bonus Pokemon card to go with it, so that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I did try and haggle him down on price. He had it listed for $20, and I said, would you do 15? He's like, he took a screenshot of eBay right away and said, I don't see anything that low on eBay. So I took a screenshot back. I said, "You're right. There's nothing that low, but there is lower than you sent." And I sent him a screenshot of that, and he said, "Well, that one that you have at the top that's lowest has damage. Well, mine doesn't have any damage." So I'm like, "Okay, valid point." And then I made sure my son was okay with $20 because it was his own money. Making him spend his own money on stuff.
Good.
So, and he was happy with it.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was Smash Brosing it up like crazy after that.
I haven't got my kids into Smash yet. They're still... My oldest is still in the Pokemon phase, but he doesn't know anything about Pokemon. He thinks he knows everything about Pokemon, but he's just like, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, okay, bud. Sure. Like, I know nothing about Pokemon, so... But I know that when he's talking about Pokemon around my, like, Craig and Daryl, they know a lot about Pokemon. So they start reality checking him with his, like... Or fact checking him. Like, no, that's not how that works. Nope, that's not how that works. So when he starts spouting rules to me, I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't play the actual trading game. The actual thing.
No.
My son does. There's actually one on PC that he plays. I forget what it's called. They renamed it recently, but Pokemon trading card game live is what it's called now.
Okay.
And he plays that one. It has the real rule set and stuff, and he's actually apparently pretty good. I don't know, but he buys cards and he gets these. They include with the cards digital codes,
the QR ones, yeah,
the QR codes. So he's claiming those on his account, and he's got so many now that he's just got a huge deck of cards or huge stack of cards on the game. So
nice.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of those QR ones floating around too. I don't know if they're any good or not, but
yeah, they'll work. If you don't want them, we'll take them. Or create your son an account.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's gonna happen. So.
Well, remember my YouTube copyright claim?
I do.
Probably like a week or two after we recorded, they retracted the claim.
Oh. That's nice.
So no copyright strikes on my account anymore. I did not expect that.
That's because you wrote them an email, right?
Yeah, and they never replied to the email.
Yeah.
So I just figured, nothing's gonna happen. They still didn't reply to the email, but they did retract it. So I don't know why they weren't obligated to, but they did. So
don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Right? We'll say that's a good thing.
Thank you, and move on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That frees up more room for error.
Yeah, exactly. And the same day that they released that, I rolled over past 600 subscribers.
Nice. Look at you go.
Well, act like that's impressive.
Bigger than any of the channel I've had, so it is.
Okay.
You're officially a bigger YouTuber than I ever was.
Yay!
Well, I mean, the other account that I use that I steal content for, that's bigger.
I thought that was. Yeah, I thought you said that one was bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I also do no work on that one. I literally I don't edit anything. I don't separate anything. I just rip, post, done.
You put a lot of thought into what to post.
Whatever it will let me. I put a lot up and it's just like, this is blocked. I'm like, oh. Try another one. This is blocked. Oh.
Well.
What it is. Well, you remember my my trailer incident from last week?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I had to fix that. So,
yep.
we're not quite sure what happened to the fender. For those who didn't hear, I had a fender fall off my enclosed trailer, homemade enclosed trailer, and hit the car behind me. And we're not quite exactly sure how it fell off, but we found out that it fell off because it was only attached with self-tapping screws into whatever material that was there, which wasn't much. I'm not sure if the trailer ran over the fender, but the fender was like bent somehow.
When it hit the ground, it could have bent. I can see that.
Possibly, or hitting the car could have.
Yeah, that's true. Hitting the car and denting his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we couldn't put the fender back on the way that it was on before. We had to like turn it around.
You say we.
My dad and I did this.
Okay. Is it you and your dad or you and Craig? So
no, this is me and my dad. Because I was talking to my dad about it, and I'm just like, "Have you looked at the trailer?" He's like, "No." Like, you didn't notice anything missing? He's like, "No, I was by it today. I didn't see anything wrong." I'm like, "You didn't notice it's missing a fender?" He's like, "No, what happened?" So I told him the story, and then later that night he wrote me back. He's like, "By darn, there is no fender on that thing." So, anyways, we went to Princess Auto, bought some new bolts to go through there, and nuts to hold it on, and it's on. Well, it was on. So we decided that we were going to take we have to take the enclosed trailer when we go camping, because I just have the little Subaru Forester with all the tents, cots, sleeping bags, coolers, bikes, kayaks.
You're also going camping for a whole week.
A week. I'm just like, we just need the space, so we just take the trailer. On the way up, I guess we could do I'll kind of mix my camping into this as well. We packed the whole thing, and I'm also going away later on this month as well. And I had, on my Google Maps, I was mapping how I was going to get there, because my family's going up and I'm coming up a day later. So I'm going to be riding the motorbike up, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to hit avoid highways, because that way I can take the motorbike, I can take all the back roads, and it'll be fun. So then 2 days later, we're going up to our campsite, which is up in Killbear Provincial Park, whatever, Ontario Park, which is about 4 hours north of where we are now. I was like, all right, Killbear, go. And it was showing like 6 hours to get there. And I'm like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. Why? So we start going back roads and going this way and that way. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm just like, okay, the fender fell off before. I need to watch everything. So I've got a kayak strapped to my roof. I've got a trailer at the back. And every time we hit a bump, that fender is bouncing, like just flexing a little bit. And I'm like, uh-oh, watching that. I also have the plywood floor for my inflatable dinghy. I took that as well. I have that strapped to the bottom of my roof rack. So that thing's bouncing, and straps it was a mess. So like I'm super paranoid about everything. Every 20 minutes I'm stopping, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't like that strap, and I'm restrapping. And
sounds like you need a full-size enclosed trailer.
I just need a bigger vehicle so I can fit everything in it and tow a bigger trailer. Yeah, things are progressing. Anyways, I had one strap almost break on me because it was vibrating so much.
Oh,
I've never seen before.
No, me neither. I've seen them vibrate, but oftentimes I put a twist in them to avoid the vibrating.
Yes. So where it was, I had it was underneath. It was between holding that plywood floor, underneath my roof rails. So it was between the roof rail and the roof of the car.
Okay.
And I did not put a twist in that because I'm like, it's holding a load on that side, and I didn't think of it. So that was vibrating between the roof and the plywood enough, and after 20 minutes of it, I pulled over and checked, and the strap was ripped like halfway through. So I had to pull it off and put a new strap on. I've never seen that before in my life, and I was like, I'm just not having a good time right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if strapping a piece of plywood to my roof is something I really want to do.
I didn't do it on the way back. I convinced my dad to take it back in his trailer. So
okay,
his mobile trailer. So that worked out. Anyways, but when we got to the campsite, my parents were there, and they were there for like maybe 2 minutes before we showed up. So when I was backing in the trailer, my dad saw the fender, and so when I got out, he's just like, I'm not happy with that fender. I don't like the way it looks. I'm like, yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, the reason it took 6 hours on the map is because I hadn't clicked the take
highways,
avoid highways, so it was taking us on all the back roads.
Yeah.
So by the time I was like, this is going to take us forever to get up here. About halfway through, I realized, oh, I'm avoiding highways. And I clicked the highways, and all of a sudden, like, it went from 6 hours to 2 hours by the time we were close enough to... But I'm glad that I went the back roads during this whole time because there wouldn't have been a safe place to pull off and restrap stuff, kayaks, boards, whatever. So
yeah, that is an annoying part about the highway, the 401, 400.
Yes. On the way back, I could take it no problem. Everything was strapped down perfectly, so I didn't have to worry about it. Anyways, so my dad and I spent a couple days kind of just like, I don't know, spitballing ideas how we can fix this fender more permanently. And the idea was brought of like, okay, well, we could drill through the fender on the one side because it's got a rolled edge down the sides. There is room to drill through, but then you're drilling into the vinyl of the trailer. You got to have a backing plate on there. Then are you screwing? Are you bolting? Or how are you going to waterproof? And blah, 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 everything. It just got complicated. Anyways, I got the bright idea. I was like, what about construction adhesive?
Okay.
It's like liquid nails.
Yes.
Basically. Like super, 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 super glue.
That with still having the bolts on there.
Well, it still has bolts on the bottom, holding the strength-wise. Okay. So basically, what we're trying to stop is a flex, like left to right. It's not falling up and down. It's flexing this way, and over time, that might stretch the metal, and then the bolt could break through. Which
is probably what happened with the other bolts. So it had like 4 self-tappers in there, and they looked like they were all just stripped out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to eliminate the flexing happening.
But why not just put a bolt? Oh, you don't want to put a bolt at the top because that's going to...
then I'm going through the vinyl.
You're going through the vinyl,
of the trailer. Then I have to waterproof that. It's just...
Yes.
Anyways, so yeah, we went to Canadian Tire and had a look at some nails. There's a whole bunch of options. We picked the most expensive one because it's got like 8 times the hold or whatever it was, and we checked it.
Marketing materials.
Yeah, I know. Well, there was like regular, then 3 times, and 8 times. I'm like, well, we're taking 8 times regardless. So, what was it saying? I did check that it would adhere to vinyl and metal because that's the 2 things. I don't think the regular strength didn't say vinyl. I don't think.
Did you just rough up the metal first, or you just did it painted metal?
I mean, the vinyl has like a texture to it already.
Yeah.
And the metal's got like a diamond plate pattern, so there's enough stuff to hold it. And I already had a caulking gun in the trailer because I was going to put some what's it called, Flex Seal on the sides where I know it is leaking, but never got around to it. So that's been sitting in the trailer for a year or 2 years already. So I was like, perfect. Anyways, so we put some construction adhesive on the side and propped that thing up with some 2x4s to hold it up in place for 24 hours. And I'm happy to report that it has worked. In this the fender is not going anywhere, thankfully.
That's not going anywhere.
That's not going anywhere. I gave it a good shake. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I didn't do anything else. We do have things that are coming up.
Well, what about your cottage trip?
I don't know. It was uneventful.
Uneventful.
My brother had his 4-wheeler there, and that was fun. We went for a couple of rides on that. Yeah. No, nothing.
Is that a 2-seater or 4-seater?
It's a 4.
Okay.
It's got nice, comfy seats too. Yeah. Like front seats of a not race car, but just slightly down from that. Like this similar design.
Yeah.
Seat.
More like a racing seat kind of thing.
Yeah, like a racing seat, but not a 4-point. But you can put a 4-point in it. But yeah, and all 4 seats are like that. There's no bench seat in it, so it's pretty damn comfortable.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So there's trails up there at that cottage. That cottage we stayed at has trails in their bush. Not crazy, but and it's really overgrown too because they clearly haven't done it, maintained it with a bigger vehicle for a while. They probably just take like a small 4-wheeler up there.
Yeah. Should have taken a mini bike.
Yeah, it would have worked actually really well. It would have been awesome. Yeah. I don't have a mini bike.
You could have asked. You could have had one.
Maybe next year. I forgot that they had the trails there, and I thought the trails were only for biking. I I didn't think you were supposed to do 4-wheelers on them, but my brother said he checked and it was fine, and they say it's fine on the Airbnb thing and stuff. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. Are we good? It looks like it used to be like a lime quarry or something like that. Some kind of or limestone quarry that's up there. Yeah, on that property. It's pretty neat. That's cool. Looks like it was abandoned at some point. Yeah, that's nothing eventful happened. The kids went swimming a lot. We made food. We did stuff. It wasn't as hot as the first year we went there, where we were all just dripping sweat the whole time. So that wasn't a problem. This place has no air conditioning. That's part of the reason why it's cheap, or cheap-ish. It's still like, for a weekend, it's $3,200 is what my mom had said.
Oof, that is expensive for a weekend.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say we get like a whole cottage for like $4, so
yeah,
for a week. So
okay, yeah. The pool I think is what makes it expensive, because it's got a big pool with a deep end. Apparently, pools aren't as common these days anymore. People aren't putting them in anymore. Everybody's doing swim spas instead.
Oh, interesting.
Says my sister-in-law who works at a swim spa place.
Go figure. That's the sales pitch.
She said it's even hard to find people to maintain pools anymore. Like if you want to hire a company. Yeah, apparently. I don't know. And they don't put in deep ends as much anymore either. Like it's hard to get a real deep end. Like I think this one's like a 14-foot on one side and like 3 feet on the other side. Okay, and it's not really that long considering how big that changes. But it when you're in the shallow side, it just starts dropping. So if you're like a young kid and you can't swim well, it could be dangerous there. They almost need like one of those floaty lines across. They really need one of those if they had younger kids. My kids are old enough and good swimmers now that I'm not worried, but yeah.
Good. Yeah, we did camping. We were right across. We were at a site that was site, road, beach. We could see the water from our site. We could see the beach from our site, so our kids could swim. And there were some trees and stuff, so you couldn't see them great, but you could, in theory, just watch them from the campsite.
Okay. Josh is coughing.
I mean, yeah, I gotta I'm sick. If you haven't noticed, my wife got sick on Wednesday, when we were camping. I was like, okay, I'll be fine. Fun. And then Thursday comes along and catches me, and I've been sick since then too.
Don't kiss her.
Never kiss. So like I said, I took the kayak and the dinghy, and so we were right around the corner from the jumping cliffs. So 2 years ago, my oldest would jump off like the little rock into the water, which isn't very high. It's like maybe a foot off the water. So this year it was the first year my youngest could go, and my first he's a little bit, timid of new things. So he would do the bottom one, but there's another one like another foot up, and he wouldn't do that one. But my youngest, he did the bottom one once or twice. He was a little bit scared at first. I convinced him, and he finally did it. And then goodness, that one was so easy. He just immediately jumped up to the next one, and jumped off that one. My oldest still would not jump from the taller one. So I even got my youngest to jump off of one more from that as well. It's like another, I don't know, 6 inches taller. You
didn't have a life jacket on him or something like that?
Yes, they have life jackets on them.
Oh, okay, he still didn't want to. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's still way. I'm jumping from it and I can't touch the bottom, so don't trust them to do it. And there's also like, it's on a windy side, so if there's boats going by, like to climb back out, it's pretty wavy and mossy and slippery and whatever, algae. So you really got to be careful climbing out. But they did really well, all things considered. So, took both kayaks as well. I have both kayaks that I found in the garbage. So one of them is a big 12-foot kayak that's got like a cargo space in the back. That one, it had holes on both ends, and the one or both of them I fixed when I got them with like some JB water weld. But then I think it was last year I was taking it off the car and it fell off of the roof rack when I was bringing it down. It hit the driveway and cracked the water weld right off. So now I had a bigger hole that I had to fix. So I took this as an opportunity to learn how to plastic weld. Which was, I will say,
what did you
use? Moderately successful.
What did you use to?
In terms of what?
What tool or device were you using?
So I used a heat gun.
Okay.
The hardest part is finding something to weld into it, such as the right kind of plastic.
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I watched a few videos, just kind of like, oh, this is how you do it. I'm like, okay. I didn't have the right kind of plastic, but then I looked over at the kids' toys, and I saw that they had a bucket, and I was just like, I wonder if that's the right metal or the right material.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it sure was. Took my utility knife, cut that bucket up. The kids still haven't noticed that it's missing, so I'll call that a win. But if you look at where my patch is, it's just like, and you could see like the writing of whatever was on the bucket. If you look hard enough, you'll see it. Anyways, it's got like 8 layers of bucket on there.
I have that 14-foot skeleton I need to fix.
Yeah.
I already started melting it, but I just melted it into itself. With I have a soldering iron that's a really big one. It's actually meant for wood melting, but or wood burning. But I just use that and just like put layer over layer and try to kind of mix the sides in a little bit. Kind of like a normal metal weld would be, without adding anything to it. And it's holding, but I want to make it stronger. And there's also a whole section of that skeleton, like a rib that's missing, that I need to recreate somehow. I'm not sure the best way to do it. I'm thinking like JB Weld or something like that. But
yeah,
I gotta do that before Halloween.
Okay, you're running out of time.
And then add lights to them.
Yeah, running out of time, real quick.
Yeah. Well, it's a 14-foot skeleton, so I need to set it up somewhere to make sure I do have all the pieces and I know how to do it. And then I need to figure out how to mount it into the ground, because everyone says like it comes with a big metal stand, right? That goes underneath its feet. And you can stake that in the ground, but it's not great. So it comes with 2 wires you're supposed to attach to its spine as well to hold it down. But everybody still says those aren't good enough, or you need those like screw-in stakes that you actually look like a big screw that you screw into the ground, and those are supposed to help. Well, I got one at Crazy Bins a month ago, but I need more clearly. Yeah. And they're not cheap, so I go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Rona, whatever, one of these days, and pick up some of those before Halloween time.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
And we don't know where we're going to put the guy because he's huge, and our front lawn is not huge because our driveway holds 4 cars, and then our lawn is a pie-shaped lot, like it's a triangle, right? It's bigger the further you go back, so there's not a lot of room at the front to put a big skeleton like that. My neighbor did say last year he liked our Halloween decorations and to feel free to spill over onto his side. But a 14-foot skeleton is a lot of spillover.
We can just put it right in the middle.
I could put it right between our houses. Yes, it would be really cool. It would look awesome. Yeah. Or we put it right in the middle of the circle of the house, because our house is on like an elongated cul-de-sac. Yeah. So we could put it in the middle, and that'd be cool too. But then powering it would be harder.
Power would be the hard part. Yeah.
I could probably scrounge up enough batteries, but
yeah. No, I think you should. I think you should put it between the houses. I think that would be cool.
It'd be even cooler if I could get like the hand on his soffit or something, like on his roof
like
there.
But it's kind of like it's climbing
really cool.
or walking between the houses. Yeah. With some cool lights on it, that'd be cool.
I gotta try it, but it's a lot of work.
Fog machine behind it.
Fog machine in the chest.
Oh, there you go.
There's enough room to fit a small child in the chest of that thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. People put lights in the chest across the front of the rib cage, and you shine it in, So
okay.
that's something I want to do, but I don't know if I'll get around to this year. I was actually building little control boxes, those wireless ones that I think I told you I got for Christmas, that are like little computers. I had one down here. I don't have it anymore, but little wireless Wi-Fi computers, and I can control them from my house wired lighting.
Okay.
So I plan on doing that for Halloween. I have them all wired up, and I have two Jesus, what do you call it? Not fog lights. What the hell?
Strobe.
Oh my God! No, the floodlights. Jesus, the other word. Floodlights. I have two that I made of those LEDs that are on my house. I put 25 in each square 3D printed thing, and I have 25 and 25, and I'm going to point them at the house or at the skeleton or whatever else I put out there. We have a spider web we put out there too, a big one, and those are all programmable LEDs. And then I have 10 stakes in the ground that have 5 LEDs on each of them. So it's like a foot tall, 5 LEDs. So it'll be 50 LEDs total. And then I want to put that on the lawn, or my wife thought even just straight along the driveway. Okay, and then it's all programmable lights that you can do patterns in and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd love to make more of those, but that's a lot of work. 3D printing, and
it is a lot of work.
For all I know, they'll melt or be brittle when it's cold, or I don't know yet, because I'm using PLA plastic, which is not the greatest for outdoor stuff, but it is environmentally friendly, and it's easier to print in the house because you don't need to fumigate the room that it's in and all that crap.
Or whatever,
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Fair. Skeleton and lighting. We're talking about Halloween. It's not even August yet.
It's only August.
Yeah, not even August. What?
Wink, 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 wink.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah.
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 So I have 2 things that we're doing soon that I could mention. Okay. One of them is that I have a birthday coming up.
You do have a birthday coming up, yeah?
And it's a big one.
The big 40.
Big 40. It's coming up in very soon. And I invited Josh to come have a celebration with me. I don't think you ever responded, did you?
Didn't I?
I don't know. Maybe you did.
That's incredibly rude of me.
I didn't think you did, but maybe I'm wrong.
I probably did.
I went and checked who had answered. I did a Facebook invite because we're old, right?
We are old.
Invited? No. He did not respond. Josh did not respond.
It says
invited.
It says okay. Oh, there.
I did have 3 friends who said they couldn't respond on Facebook. They would mark as going to the event, and it would just not work.
Oh, okay.
But I also wasn't sure if you actually wanted to go or not either, so there's that too. Because this is going to be a LAN party, birthday party.
Ooh. Because we're old.
Everybody brings their computer over, and we play some video games. Yeah. PC gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to let me know what I need to be downloading, so I'm not trying to do it at your house.
Well, I did upgrade my internet for this, so it's probably okay. But I probably should do a post with what games we're planning on playing. I did write a preliminary list, but it also depends on what people own, let alone what we can get to play for free, like the Fortnites. Mm-hmm. My son definitely wants to play Fortnite, and my son will be participating, and my daughter too.
Okay.
At the beginning of the LAN party.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not staying up all night, are they?
No, they're definitely not.
By the way, this is an all-nighter that we're pulling here.
Yes, my wife doesn't want us to do an all-nighter because she doesn't want me to miss out on being awake the next day.
Okay.
Just because otherwise I sleep the whole day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
To catch up. So. All
right.
But I do plan on going very early in the morning, if nothing else. Like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It all depends on how all other people are as well. I know I have my friend Rob that I've done LAN parties with since 2010, 2008, somewhere in there. And him and I would often stay up for over 25, 30 hours for LAN parties.
Yeah.
32 hours, I think, is our record. And then we drove home from Toronto, which was probably a bad idea. But
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we had to pull over and take a rest a few times. In 3 separate cars, me, him, and our friend Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So this is that is the day that we're supposed to go to the cottage. So my family is leaving without me.
Oh, yeah.
On the next day. So.
Okay, so I'm
hanging behind just for you, Derek.
You were going to anyway or not?
What do you mean?
You were going to hang behind anyway, or you're hanging out just for me?
I'm hanging out just for you. Otherwise, I'd go up with them. Yeah.
All right. You often don't go up with them. That's why I was asking. But it's usually for work, right?
Yeah. The last couple times it was because of work, but this time I was like, oh, we're going on Saturday, and then I think maybe that's why I didn't respond right away because I was like, I wasn't sure what we were doing. But then my wife was just like, oh,
I can just publicly ask you.
No, that's fine. It's on. Yeah, it's public now. I have to say yes because we're on podcast. edit. So, yeah. Then my wife's just like, oh, she's like, well, we'll just go up on Saturday and you come up on Sunday. She's like, you can ride your motorbike. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. It'll be a 4 to 5 hour motorbike ride up. So that'd be fun.
Get some use out of that thing.
I know. I have been using it more than I have in the past. So.
It's getting jealous of your mini bikes.
That's true. I actually got my youngest after we came back from camping. By the way, my kids went the whole week, like no shows, no video games. They asked for it the first day or two, and they're like, "No, we're camping, like we're not." And then they didn't ask after that, so that was good. When we got back, they're back home. They go back into their like, "Oh, look, can we watch a show or can we watch video games?" So we let them do it for a little bit because we were like unpacking and everything. Which, by the way, this is the craziest part because we had our camping site until Sunday.
Okay.
We came back Saturday night. So we had a full day Saturday, but we spent all day kind of like packing up throughout the day. Because the one thing I hate about leaving camp is you get up, like the day you have to leave, it's get up, pack, rush. You're so exhausted by the time it's time to leave that it's almost not worth it. Like I just feel like the day's not. So I was like, we're not doing that. We're leaving on Saturday. We'll pack up throughout the day. We'll have dinner and then we'll leave. We didn't get back until like 11:30 at night ish.
Yeah.
And we let the kids like watch movies all the way home. I'm like, there's their screen time kind of thing. So Sunday we have all day to unpack the car, to kind of unwind, get ourselves back into like a home schedule before work today. So what happens when all the neighbors see that, oh, Josh and his family are back home? What should we do? They all send their kids over to hang out with my kids.
Oh.
And where are they going to hang out? At their house? No. They're going to hang out at our house. So not only am I sick, tired, trying to unpack a car, trying to put everything away, and now I'm babysitting looking after my kids and babysitting 3 other neighbors' kids who came over to drop their kid off, saw how much we had to do, and said, okay, well, thanks. We'll see you in a little bit. Let us know whenever. I'm like, you guys, can you not see?
Wow.
Can you not see how busy we are? Oh, my God. It was ridiculous.
I would never, ever do that to someone.
I just didn't understand how like oblivious they could be.
Yeah.
And then the one kid that we had over, he's an only child, so he's not able to sit and not be engaged with something, right? He's always.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good while you're trying to unpack.
I needed to take a few minutes because I was like, I was really running out of energy. So I just came downstairs and I was just sitting in my chair and I was just going to watch a YouTube video for 15 minutes. Next thing I hear steps coming down, and all the kids came down here, and they're like, "Oh, we want to play VR. We want to play this. You want to play this. You want to play this." I'm like, "Guys, like, we have to do this right now?" And then my kids start crying, "But Dad, please, we want to play. It's our friends. We want to." I'm like, all right, fine. So I had to break the VR out. The new kid, he's like, "I really want to play VR. We really want to play VR." I'm like, all right, fine. Put him in VR, but then. He's in VR. I was like, we're going to do something easy. We're just going to do like roller coaster, He's never done VR before. I'm like, we're gonna do a really easy roller coaster and see how you handle it before I put you in anything else.
Yeah.
So he did a couple of roller coasters, and all of a sudden, now my son's like, well, I want to have a turn. Okay, great. That's fair. Everyone gets a turn.
I'd say you live here. You can do it anytime.
So I put it on my other son, but now this single child who doesn't know how to just sit and watch.
Self-regulate, yeah.
Watch someone else. They like my kids have sat and watched this person enjoy. Now they're up and like, well, I want to play that now, or I want to play this. I'm like, what? Why can't you just sit and watch this person play or have a roller coaster? No, I gotta do this. I want to do that. I'm like, oh, goodness. Anyways, so they all had a turn doing that. I was watching this other kid, and then they all decided, oh, we want to play Nintendo Land. So I'm like, okay, so now I have to shut the VR off, hook up Nintendo, find batteries for all the Wiimotes, put them all in, sync everything back up. All right, they played one round of Luigi's Mansion. We don't want to play this. We want to play VR again.
Oh, God. I would say no, absolutely not.
Anyways. I
try and set something they can play on their own, but... I
put them in VR. They wanted to play They really want to play Minecraft in VR. So I'm like, fine.
I haven't even done that yet.
Put them in Minecraft VR. Got them set up. I left the room. I was like, you guys can just deal with it.
I don't trust them with the headset on and a TV in their face.
Yeah. Anyways, within 10 minutes, they were all upstairs playing Minecraft on the Switch because they could all play together. I'm like,
yeah,
thank you. Why didn't you just do this in the first place? But whatever. What do I know? Anyways, we finally got enough of this. We kicked all the kids out, kicked them back home. And then my youngest, he kind of plays by himself. Like the other kids are around and he'll play, but he plays on his own kind of thing.
Okay.
So my oldest, he's off playing with the other kids outside. And my youngest comes back. He's like, oh, I don't have anything to do. So I was like, all right, today's the day. I'm like, I'm going to put you on the electric dirt bike.
Because a hospital trip is exactly what you needed.
That's what I need right now. I don't know. I wasn't thinking.
I was like, what, you're going to hand him an Amber Nick? Just, here you go crazy, kid.
I will do that, yes. Anyways, but he only learned to ride a bike like beginning of this year. But he's like done super well. When we went camping, he went on the kayak for the first time by himself, and he's just like, nope, I am doing that. We have a little kid's kayak, and he's just like, boop, 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 off he went.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
we just tuddled around. So I'm like, all right, maybe he is more capable than I think he is. So I was like, all right, bring the dirt bike. I had to show him how the handbrake works, how the twist throttle works, balance, blah, 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 blah. Darned if that kid isn't a natural, and he just zooms around. He's riding over speed bumps. I was like, my oldest could care less about riding.
Yeah, I think I know which one got your genes and which one got your wife's.
So, and he did a couple rounds, and then immediately comes back. It's just like, now I can ride this, and you can ride the mini bike, and we can go on a long mini bike ride. You're right. We can do that now.
So to really tell who follows who, which one of them likes Nicolas Cage?
We haven't got there yet, but I did have those stickers up. Both of them just refer to both of them refer to him as the scary man.
Oh, okay, good. That's good.
Yeah. Well, the pictures I had of him were not flattering, so yeah.
My kids love the Nicolas Cage all over the house. The heads.
They're loving it.
I have a whole bunch on the shelf right over here. Yeah.
That's funny. Have you introduced them to National Treasure?
No, I is that probably the best kids movie for
that's
them?
a Walt Disney movie.
Because there's also my son did watch Astro Boy years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And that has Nicolas Cage as the dad, the voice of the dad, but it's a cartoon, so
cartoon, doesn't count.
Yeah. I don't think I've even. No, we saw National Treasure. Sorry, in my brain again. I was convoluting it with to Night at the frickin' Museum again. I think.
Oh, that's Ben Stiller.
Yeah, because National Treasure I think is above their head, like very above their head in terms of storyline. Totally.
It's just more
Declaration of Independence.
Movie.
Yeah. I don't know. They've definitely also seen what was the one with the snails.
Turbo?
Turbo, yeah, they've seen that too.
Nicolas Cage is in Turbo?
I thought he was.
I don't think so. Not on our
I thought he
list,
did.
anyway.
Why did I think that was always on the list?
Not on the list.
Not on our list. I thought I removed it, but maybe I'm wrong. Huh. Let's just Google it.
Hold on a second. I'm looking at the Nicolas Cage movie list right here, and I see Long Legs. Did you just add that? Is that actually a Nicolas Cage is in Long Legs?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it's a big freaking thing these days.
All right. Well, I guess I got to go to the theater to see that because I can get theater points and Nicolas Cage points.
Oh.
And new movie points.
Yeah, he says he'll never play a serial killer again. After that.
Woo! All right.
Yeah, he plays the titular character.
I did not know that.
Yeah, maybe it's a spoiler, but I didn't think so because people are talking about it like crazy. I didn't know you didn't know.
Spoiler for me. All right, I gotta look up some movie tickets. Guess I know that.
Speaking of movie tickets, while you're doing that, you and I have a movie date.
We do.
Along with Hodge and Fraser.
Yeah, when's this happening?
You don't know yet?
No!
You should know. It should be in your calendar.
The date keeps moving. I haven't done anything with it yet.
It does keep moving.
I'm waiting for you to say I'm picking you up at this time.
It is okay. Saturday the 3rd.
All right.
So this coming Saturday.
I may invite other friends as well, if that's okay.
No. Yeah, I'm assuming we're driving together in some form or fashion.
So yeah, I would assume so. Where are we meeting? Did we decided that yet?
No.
Please, everyone, join us as we plan this.
Yeah, no, nothing's been planned yet.
Okay.
It's Orangeville is the plan.
Okay.
Because it's kind of central to all of us, but there's no real plan there. I don't know what time the movie even starts. We need to buy tickets, all that stuff.
Yeah, we need to work on that now.
Yeah, and there's only one theater there. It's a Galaxy Cinema.
Okay.
Yeah. Should probably do it after we record the podcast, though.
Yeah, probably. We won't do that right
now. I'm just guessing. We don't have to. We can do it right now. I don't care. Does not look like a very good theater from this picture.
Fun. All right. Yes, that's the plan.
Yes. So watch Deadpool because I had to wait. I honestly, if you guys had not responded on that last message, I was gonna just go. I was gonna message my brother-in-law and be like, "Let's go."
Yo, you could have messaged me too, though. You know,
maybe I guess. Hey, you were the one we didn't go because of on Saturday.
That's true. But you could have gone if you didn't want me.
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
Well, that'll be added to my to-do later list.
Yes,
which
sure.
I already had something on and I already forgot. Oh, yeah, it was sending out a list of games for the LAN party. That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, let's work on that too. Yeah.
I have a list already written. It's just not everybody's gonna own everything. But if you want to pre-install things, great.
Yeah.
Steam does also have a cool feature now where if you're on a local network with people, you can download game updates from their computer if they already have it.
Oh,
it'll automatically do it as long as the person allows you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like you define whether it's friends on your friends can download. Yeah, I think it's friend list can download from you. So that'll save time.
Fun.
Yeah. Although my internet is as fast as my network connection in the house. So download speed anyway.
Well,
it's
when you attach how many people attach to this,
that's going to be the downside. It's going to be like 10, 12 people with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Plus all the other equipment that's already in the house. So. Yeah. Well, I have watched things next.
Whoa, I'm not near. I'm not near.
You're not near
yet.
Oh, jeez. I have movie and TV.
I've got. Okay, listen. Bad things happen in threes, right?
You mean, yeah, usually celebrities die in threes, is what they say.
Well, usually bad things happen in threes, all right? So let's start with number one. All right. Number one was the trailer. right? That was the first thing, the bad thing that happened. Big, when I'm talking
Last
big bad
month,
thing.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was the big one. All right. Second bad thing happened earlier in the month is we had to put my dog down.
Oh, I was gonna ask. I was gonna say I don't see him behind you, and then I'm like, well, I won't bring it up.
No, his bed is gone actually, which is the big giveaway because his bed has been down here forever, even though he hasn't come down here in ages.
Okay.
But yeah, he was not doing so great. He was 17 though. I got him. We got him to his 17th birthday. he debatably maybe should have gone before his 17th birthday, but I would think I was just being a little bit selfish. Put him on some meds.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was he a purebred dog?
No, he was a Jack Russell Beagle mix.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say purebreds usually live less time because of genetic problems. When you introduce some more, they tend to have better survivability and less medical issues.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, we got him up. I put him on some meds, got him past his 17th birthday, and then he started going downhill again. Took him back to the vet, got some more meds. He kind of came back again, and then I was doing my calculations, and I was looking at how many pills we had left versus how much time we had, and the pills would have run out right in the middle of our camping trip, which means he would have had a decline almost immediately, which would have put a downer on the whole thing, and I wouldn't have felt good leaving him with someone to deal with that either. So he would have had to come with us camping, and it was just it wasn't going to work out. So I made the decision. I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull him off the meds, and we'll see if he can recover or not. And he didn't. So we had a rough couple of days, and then we just had to make the decision to.
Yeah, I've never had to make that decision before.
I've had lots of pets before.
Yeah,
and I've also never had to make the choice, and that's what makes it really hard. But I mean, it is comforting to know that, he's not in pain anymore. Because I could see at the end, he was just miserable. He didn't sleep the whole night before. I was up with him all night. He would just pace around the house. He would throw up all over the house. I'd clean it up. I would spend all night. I'd put him in bed, get him out. Like as soon as he got up to get out of bed, I'd get him outside so he could do his thing, and then come him inside. And I was just emotionally and physically spent, which didn't make the day go any easier. So, but yeah, it was rough. So, anyways, he was a good dog. His name was Butters. For those who haven't heard, we called him Roomba too, and that's the thing. It's always the little things we notice. We have to sweep the floor so much more now, like from just food. Because the kids would just drop stuff and we wouldn't even know because he would just eat it. And we're like, okay, it's like no big deal. And now we're just like, you kids even eat any food? Like what?
Yeah, I've got one of those kids.
Yeah. So it's just little things that we're still like trying to get over. Like we come downstairs, I'm just like, oh, I gotta let the dog out. No, I still don't have to let him out. And it's been like 3 weeks, but it's still those. I've been doing it for 17 years. 17 years,
yeah.
So it's
like
you
go on vacation, and you think I gotta get someone to watch the dog. Oh, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah. I'm like, oh, and even at the end of the night, I'm just like, oh, I'll leave leave a light on for the dog when we leave.
Oh, okay.
We don't do that now. We shut the AC off now when we leave the house for the day, kind of thing, right? Because we don't have to create an environment or whatever like that, or even just like leaving the curtains open or closing them. Like we just close the curtains now because there's no need to leave them open. So it's slowly just like relearning all this stuff that you never think of. So
yeah,
it's been different, but I'm glad that he's at peace now. And it was a hard day for us and hard couple weeks, but I do feel a lot better knowing that everything is done.
Crazy. Yep. Yeah.
So that was number 2.
I've known him as long as I've known you.
That's true. That's very true. I've had him longer than I've been married.
Yeah.
He was my dad before I was married, so that was been a long time with that dog. All right.
By 2 years, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I only know because we got married the same year.
That's true. So I had a shut-off valve, water plumbing shut-off valve, that goes to the
hose.
The hose at the back.
Yeah. Okay.
It's one of those ones like the turnstile ones that you screw it in, whatever. But if you get enough like calcium line buildup and that stuff, when you go to shut it off, it starts leaking.
Okay.
So this happened like 2 years ago. It leaked a little bit when I tried to close the valve for the winter.
Okay.
Finally, just realized it's not worth doing that. I will just empty shut the water off at the spigot and then empty the hose kind of thing.
So there is a chance of it freezing still. I've never had it happen, but I've heard people say that they had it happen, and
yes,
that's the reason to turn it off on the inside and then drain the outside. But
yeah,
hasn't been a problem for me yet.
Hasn't been a problem. I haven't noticed. So, yeah. But anyways, last time I did it, it started leaking from the shutoff valve. So I just kind of I figured out, I found the best spot where it leaked the least and kind of left it there. And then over time, 2-3 days, it recalcified itself and sealed its leak up again. So wasn't worried about it. Early in the month, something happened with the hose, and I was like, oh, maybe I couldn't remember if I shut it off all the way or left it on, but I wasn't getting a lot of pressure at the back. I went to test it again, and all of a sudden, this thing just started leaking like crazy, like drip, 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 drip. So I had a bucket under it for a while, trying to figure out, okay, how do I fix this? And I was emptying it every 6 to 8 hours. I'd have to go and empty this bucket. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take the plunge, and I'm just gonna replace the whole valve. So shut the water off the house. I did some research. I got some shark bite connectors from Home Depot. I found the right valve. I did the handle one that just ball valve.
Where you can tell if it's on or off. Yep.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, so anyways, it took me 2 cuts of copper length to figure out the length with the shark bite. But not too bad. And it works, and it's still working great now.
I like the shark bite. Some people really don't like them because they've had leaks with them, but
I've never seen leaks.
It's all shark bited for me. Yeah. So
yeah, I haven't had any issues with. I've put in people's dishwashers with shark bites and haven't had issues. So, so the day that we had to put Butters down, my wife goes to turn the shower on, and the handle breaks off the wall.
This is 4 now. You know that, right?
No. This is
4?
still.
Oh, this is the 3 of this month.
This is the 3rd. The other one was a win. I fixed that one. That was fine. It was like a $20 fix. That was a win.
Okay, it was an avoided problem.
It was an avoided problem. This is the 3. She was turning the water on. As the water turns on, then the handle breaks. So now the water is stuck on with no way to shut it off. I don't know if you know about
pliers.
So what happens is there's a cartridge in the wall.
Yeah.
It's got a little spindle that goes all the way down. It had broken at the spindle inside the cartridge.
Oh, good.
So there's no way to shut it off.
Turn the water off to the whole house.
I have to turn the water off to the whole house. Yes, exactly. So this was my issue that I've been dealing with continually. So I just had a win with this plumbing project. So in my head, I'm just like, well, this can't be that hard. It's just a cartridge. You just got to replace the cartridge. So took the handle, took the X-Acto knife to the caulking around the plate, pulled it off. I could see the cartridge in there. Now I got to get this cartridge out. Now I'm looking up videos, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Do you think for the life of me, I can get this cartridge out of that thing? It's probably been in there for 20 years. And it's stuck. It's calcified so hard into the shower valve that I cannot get it out. So
I'm worried about that when we go to do ours.
Well, learn from my mistakes, all right? I called my dad because my dad was a superintendent for a building for years. So I was like, maybe he'll have an idea how to do this. He came over and looked. He's like, the only thing you can really do is drill it out. Take a drill bit and kind of drill around and break up the plastic because it's plastic around it with a metal core. Okay. Drill the plastic out around, and then you should be able to pull the valve out. All right, fine. So I started drilling around, and I did get the thing out in pieces. It was so calcified in there. Just broke into tiny little pieces. By the way, it was a Moen. And if you take a Moen part to Home Depot and just say, this is broken, they will just hand you a new one.
Yeah.
Don't even have to pay for it.
They like to have the serial number, but if it's so old that you don't, then...
For shower cartridges, they didn't even... He just looked at the pieces, and he was just like, yep, that's a Moen. Here you go.
I've only done Moen online. I emailed them, and it was amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, next time, just try going to Home Depot and be like, hey.
Yeah, I did. Someone did say that. Can't remember who it was.
Literally just do it in store.
So. My brother used to, when he did air conditioning refrigeration stuff. Every once in a while, they had Moen stuff, and he said he could do Moen anything. He could get it through his work, even. He could just pull it off the shelf, and Moen would reimburse them.
Yeah. It was. I was very impressed with that. There was another thing I needed as well. I forget what it was, but then the guy was just like, "Oh, do you need this or this?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure." He's like, "I might as well take them. Here you go. They're under warranty anyways." Just hand me a bunch of stuff. So he saved me like, I'll put it quote unquote, saved me like $80 worth of parts just to fix this thing.
And it's over 20 years old, so any other brand, generally, you're gonna have problems and not get a warranty. And
so we go back. We put everything back in. Everything's perfect. We turn the water on. Water is now leaking from in behind the cartridge. It's leaking out from the handle now. So clearly we did something wrong. So what I did is when I was drilling around, I scored a few spots around inside the valve. And now water is getting around the cartridge and then leaking into the wall or whatever. So it didn't work, unfortunately. And so really the only thing now is just to replace the whole valve inside the wall. So how am I going to do this? I have no idea. So I ended up, my dad, he's got a community Facebook group. He put a feeler out. He found some people and we got a quote, and I had to get a plumber come in and replace the valve officially. And I asked him out of curiosity, how much would it have cost if you have to come and just replace the shower cartridge by itself? And he's just like, if it's just a shower cartridge, $100. And he's just like, it's 120 if I have to drill it out. And I'm like, great. So I had to spend $400 for him to cut a hole in my wall in my bedroom wall.
Yeah, the access from behind. Yeah.
Yep. Cuts a hole in my wall, replaces the whole cartridge, and then he was just like, oh, first he quoted me $500 to do all the work, and then he was running late. He came at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. He fixed it in an hour, like new pipes, new solder, new everything. It's all good to go. And then where the tub spout goes in, like the water comes out the spout at the bottom, that got pushed forward a little bit. So he's just like, oh, he's like, if you reset that, put the faceplates on, do all the caulking back in, he's like, I'll only charge you $400. I'm like, perfect, that's fine, I can do that. I'll save myself $100. That's fine, I'll do that. Do you think I could get that tub faucet spout at the bottom to go back as far as I needed to go and not leak backwards towards the wall? No.
That's why he didn't want to do it.
I don't think he knew it. It would have been.
He probably knew everything is a bigger job than you think.
I know. But literally, it was just a set screw.
Yeah.
Loosen the set screw, slide it back, tighten the set screw.
But how old is that thing?
I put that on when we moved into the house 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it was fun.
Because I just installed one a few weeks ago or a few months ago, and it was easy as hell.
I know.
But my brother installed one at his house, and he said he screwed with that for hours and hours and hours.
That's what I was doing.
I think I actually talking to my brother about it. I think he realized he was missing a washer after I talked to him about it, but I never followed up with him to check because there's like 2 washers in there.
There's
and
O-rings
the pipe slides. Yeah, like the O-rings, the black O-rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he only had one of them, or he didn't push it into the second one or something like that. I think.
Okay.
I think that's what I.
There's like a clamp that goes around the pipe, and then that thing slides on top. And yeah. So I messed around this thing for ages. I had Daryl and Craig here. We both looked at it. All of us were looking at this for hours. We finally decided one of the O-rings had a little bit of a nick in it. So like maybe that was the problem. So we go to Home Depot. We find it like a close enough assortment of O-rings. We find the one that just works, and we put it on. We turn the water on. Water's still leaking out the back. I am so tired of this.
Just go buy a new tub.
It's not a faucet. It's not a spout problem. There is a dimple in the bottom of the pipe somewhere.
Oh,
so water is getting through, even though there's a collar around it with 2 O-rings. Water is still managing to seep around and get out towards the wall.
Like a dent in the pipe.
Yes. Just a little.
Right at the spot where it used to sit?
I guess. I don't really know.
Because if the set screw had slid, like when he pulled on it from the back, would that have dented?
No. So I think it was set forward. It was ahead of that dimple.
Okay.
So it wasn't leaking. But then when he replaced the valve, it got pushed forward. So now when I slide it back, and now it's on the dimple.
Huh.
So now
soldered.
That whole pipe needs to get refixed. It has to get replaced. Put a new pipe out. So I had to call him back again. He hasn't had time to come back and look.
He's like, remember that $100 I saved you? Or you saved
me? He actually said he wouldn't charge me for it, but he's like, oh, early August I'll come and fix it. So we've been dealing with this. Like he jerry-rigged it to the point where it doesn't really leak towards the wall. It does still kind of.
If you had pipe solder and a torch, you could fill that dip in, but you might actually make it worse.
I might. I've just been dealing with it. It's been a pain in the ass. I am so sick and tired of plumbing. I never want to touch pipes again in my life. Yeah. So sick of it. So learn from me. If you need to replace a shower cartridge and it doesn't easily come out at all, just call a plumber, and he will come.
I would have done it myself too. I would have just done it myself too.
I know, and then you make the mistake.
I don't think I would have drilled it. I think I would have like taken a pair of pliers to it, or I don't know what. But
trust me, you could not.
CLR and scraping. I don't know, but I didn't see it. I don't know what it looked like.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so I still have a hole in my bedroom wall I have to fix. Oh man!
If I want to get to the back of my shower and tub, it's in a closet.
Most of the time, it is in the closet.
Yeah.
That's what my dad's is the same way. So, but it's just, yes, everything's just annoying. Anyways, I'm going to put a door there now, like a little hatch.
Yeah.
So I can just get back there if I need to.
Yeah.
That's my 3, and I'm hoping it stops there because I am at wit's end. So, needless to say, my camping trip was very much needed. It was so nice to just sit and do nothing. And my parents came with us, and so my mom cooked all the meals, and my dad did all the cleanup.
Mm.
He's just like, no, my dad's just like, I like doing dishes. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
So I was just like, I can just eat dinner, and then like watch the kids, or go swimming, or go hiking, or go kayaking, or whatever. So
our cottage trip. So the cost I was going to say earlier, I forgot. Throughout the year, when it's like Mother's Day, Father's Day, my mom's birthday, my dad's birthday, Christmas, instead of giving them gifts, they've asked that we just put some money in an envelope towards the cottage every year. So that's what we do, basically. Instead of giving them a gift, we give them a gift of going to the cottage, because that's what they enjoy, is their grandkids having memories of the cottage. Yeah. So then on top of that, what was the other thing I was going to say? It was related to what you were just... when we're at the cottage, we each of us, because there's 4 kids in my family, we each pick a day to do a meal. So you pick a breakfast or a supper, and which day you want to do it. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Oh, no, Saturday. Sunday's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday we did. Monday was the day we left on. So anyway, But my parents pick a day or a meal as well. So each time the person is making the meal, they're also responsible for doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And clean up their food and all that crap.
Like,
and then lunches are left up in the air of you can eat leftovers or make yourself whatever kind of thing. So
yeah, that works.
That's what we do for the cottage anyway. Camping's just everybody on their own basically.
Yeah, it's easier that way. Otherwise, it's just.
We do have one night where we all do pie iron pizzas when we're camping, and then everybody brings an ingredient.
Okay.
So yeah.
Works. Cool. Fun.
All I have left is stuff I watched.
That's about where I'm at now too. I just had to get that plumbing story, man.
I did watch quite a few things.
Okay, well, you probably watched more than me, so I'll let you take the lead on this.
All right. Well, we finished up season 1, which there's only one season of Taskmaster USA, and it was good. We started Taskmaster Australia season 1, and it is also very good. New Zealand is apparently the one that I really want to see, but I haven't been able to find that to obtain. But it's the one that I saw on TikTok. It seems to be really good. And then my wife and I took a quick gander at season 1, episode 1 of Erie, Indiana.
What is that?
It's a kids TV show that's kind of like a Goosebumpsy spooky stories type thing. Or what's the Canadian? Wow, why can't I think of it? I can't. The one where they're at the store, at this fire, telling stories to each other. And it's Canadian. You might not even been here to watch it.
I may not even know this.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why can't I think of it? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
So anyway, it's kind of like that, except there's this kid and his friend. They live in this town called Erie in Indiana, and he says the whole town is weird. People, nobody's normal. Everybody's weird. It's all a conspiracy type thing, and he basically just goes through some experience each time, collecting artifacts and telling the story of this weird town. So the first episode, I completely remember watching as a kid once we put it on, and it's basically his. They move into town. They just moved there, and his neighbors, the mother of the neighbors, comes over, introduces herself, and says she sells Tupperware, but it's a certain brand of Tupperware that her late husband had invented. And then as they're leaving, her two twin sons leave a note behind that says, take a look at 1961 yearbook. So the kids go to the library and they look at the yearbook, and it's those two same kids at the same age, 11 years old.
Oh.
And it basically turns out the mother's been storing the boys in this Tupperware and herself in Tupperware to preserve themselves to live longer. And basically because the husband died and she doesn't want them to ever die. So yeah, weird. That's just season 1, episode 1 is that story, but it's all little weird stories like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember it so well as a kid. I just wanted to check out to see if it still holds up, and the story was badly written because it was stupid little trope like, oh, you need to come in our room and let us out of the Tupperware at night so that we can go stop our mother while she's sleeping. But then it shows the mother going to bed and she just seals herself in the Tupperware. So how can the boys just not let themselves out like she does every morning? It didn't make sense why he would be needed at all. But anyway, it was interesting. I need to watch more of that. It's all on YouTube as well. Anyway, you want to go? I just turned through 3 TV shows there, but.
Well, my wife and I have started season 3 of Clarkson's Farm.
Oh, yeah, I still haven't continued that.
Yeah, so I think we only have like maybe 2 episodes left. We took a break because there was a particular episode where a lot of decisions around keeping animals alive or putting them down was brought up, and it was a hard episode. And then we had our own issues with our pets, and so we're just like, we're just gonna take a little break for a little bit. Yeah. So we need to go back. I know there's only like maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
But it is good. it is. It's interesting how they're able to keep that show fresh. Like you just think farming is farming. It's just a new show. He's continually trying to find new ways of making more money. So I thought it would be kind of over by now, but he's stretched out for another season. So see if there's a season 4.
Probably.
Hopefully.
As long as Clarkson will do it, they'll do it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't remember where I heard about it, but somewhere somebody had talked about a TV show Fresh Off the Boat.
Okay, I do know of this show.
I checked out season 1, episode 1, and we're like, yeah, this is pretty good. We should watch that again. But we haven't continued it yet. Okay. It seems like it would be a good show for my wife and I to watch together. It was funny and interesting. So, yeah. Okay. And it's set in the 80s, I believe it was. Yeah.
Maybe. I've only seen...
No, early 90s, I think.
I've watched a couple episodes. My brother-in-law brought it to a cottage one time and put on 1 or 2 episodes that we watched.
Okay.
That was about it.
It's been on for 6 seasons, so...
Yeah. I remember it being funny, but that's about as far as I got with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
I watched a movie... I don't remember why I even came across this movie and started watching it, but I think it was a TikTok. Yeah, it was a TikTok, scrolling through TikTok, and there's a little movie clip, and then you have to search through the comments to try and figure out what frickin' movie it is. Anyway, The Tomorrow War.
Okay, yeah.
With Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yep.
Yeah.
That was a Amazon Prime movie.
Sure. Yeah, it says Amazon Original. So I said aliens, guns, bombs, time travel, Chris Pratt, and global warming.
Yep.
I also wrote myself a note that says the end dragged on about 20 minutes too long. It felt like it was added as an afterthought or like they were really trying to tie up loose ends, tie up the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it feel good instead of just sad and depressing, basically.
I do remember enjoying that movie for what it was.
Yeah, it was neat.
Interesting concept, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the monster reveal took way too long, but
yeah,
and then it wasn't even that surprising, really.
Yeah, not
when
really.
It happened. So
it was more the concept of like, oh, we're from the future, we're recruiting from the past.
Yeah, that's more interesting.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Got something else?
I watched The Boys season 4.
The Boys, yes, I need to watch that.
Holy shit.
Well, that's what I always think about The Boys, but at the same time, does anything even happen?
Yeah. Yeah. Stuff happens. I mean...
Because so far in the show, nothing's actually really happened. You take the first episode, you take the most recent episode of the previous season, and it's kind of like, nothing's really happened. It's pretty much all the same.
Okay, sure, but... Sure.
Does anything that's happened actually matter in the story?
It depends on what you think matters.
It feels like Game of Thrones to me, where nothing actually changes.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones is still good, though.
I don't think it was.
But then, I don't know. Maybe you don't like The Boys then. I don't know.
But I like seeing what there is to see in The Boys, but I just still feel like overall I don't have a drive to continue watching it because nothing's changing. Especially in that show because it's so depressing that the good guys never actually win anything.
Yeah.
They just keep getting more and more beat up and more kicked down.
Yeah. Well, I do... The good guys get like little victories, right? And then they get a big loss. Little victory,
yeah, it doesn't make up for it.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, but most good TV shows, I shouldn't say most. A lot of good TV shows that do that are always about the good guy always getting, he gets a little bit ahead. There's a little bit of hope, and then crushed, and then a little bit of hope, and then crushed. A lot of them do that. So it's sure the formula is a bit, antiquated or normal or whatever you want to call it, but it's still entertaining. It's still an entertaining show. I do like what brings me to watching this show is just how crazy everything is. The different kinds of superheroes and the powers they put into it, and the nuance of like, okay, this is your superpower, but this is also like your weakness. Oh, you're a superpower that can do this, but you're an alcoholic, and that's your weakness. Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that stuff too. It just makes me depressed that the good guys can't actually win anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I can understand that. This season is also. I don't put this as me judging. I'm noticing that.
But I'm judging.
Maybe there are two characters in this show, well-known characters, well-liked characters, that look obviously different. And I'm not exactly one has got to be plastic surgery. The other one is either weight loss, sickness, and or surgery.
Huh.
So
okay.
That took me a little bit out. I'm just like, is that the same person? Like, one of them looks almost unrecognizable.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't know who you're talking about. I haven't seen, but I will see.
I don't want to say anything, but it's just kind of like, I'm just looking at them like, what the heck? But yeah, okay. They just lost a little bit of screen presence. Like, they don't fill the screen like they used to. Still the same character, still the same actor, but it's just lost a little bit of something. I'm not quite sure. It's not in a bad way. It's just different.
All right, I'm curious, more curious than I already was. I'm already going to watch it. I know I am, but it's just, when do I prioritize it?
It's also it's scary how it's almost like putting a mirror on society by showing the way people interact with superheroes or people they idolize.
Mm-hmm.
And the similarities to what I'm seeing in the media today. It's scary. But I'm hoping that if people watch the show, they'll see how ridiculous they look.
I don't think so.
Probably not. But that's the hope, right?
Yeah.
So
my dad has a saying. My dad has a lot of sayings. One of his sayings is,
most dads do.
You can hope in one hand and shit in the other. And do you know which one's going to fill up first? My dad has many sayings. He has we gave him a T-shirt, or my aunt gave him a T-shirt with all of his sayings, or as many as she could remember on it for his 60th birthday. Yeah,
that's funny. That's funny.
Or as they call him, Edisms, because his name's Ed.
Yeah. Well, there was even an episode. I believe it's like episode, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something like that. They had to rename the episode because of because of a incident that happened in the U.S.
Oh God.
That directly happened, mirrored in the show, and the show has been out for like in pre-production, filmed, whatever.
Yeah.
And happened to be released at the same time as this incident in the U.S.
Yeah. Sounds all right.
It's like, oh, we know how crazy this is gonna be. Here's this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simpsons did it. Wait. It's one of those scenarios where it's like, yeah, they had that. The writers had the idea before it happened in real life.
It's crazy. And I'm gonna burn my next movie just because it fits into this so well.
Sure.
I had some guys over. I'm like, what are we gonna watch? And so we're looking through Plex, and I just added a few new movies. And so I added one called Civil War. I don't know if you know this movie, starring Kristen Dunst.
No. So not Civil War as in the Civil War Marvel movie.
No. Basically, it came out. It's from 2024.
Yeah, I see that.
Directed by Alex Garland, who does some like more cerebral movies. In a way, whether you like that or not. Some people like those movies, some people don't. I know that
is this cast.
So I know he's done some movies that you don't like. I think he did Ex Machina, which you did not like.
Yeah, I like the idea of that more than the actual.
Yeah, but he did a couple other ones that I do like. Anyways, this takes place basically in the United States after there was a current civil war happening in the United States.
Okay.
And just kind of like it follows a team of journalists as they travel through, as they're gonna go to Washington D.C. and they're gonna interview the president.
I can't believe Nick Offerman is the president.
Nick Offerman.
And he's serious. He's not
He's serious.
Humorous. Yeah. Okay. Just checking. It doesn't look like the kind of movie where he would be doing jokes.
This is not a funny movie in any way. It's scary. So we were watching this movie, and by the way, like I don't have my phone on me at all the time. I'm not constantly checking my phone. I'm trying to make a conscious effort to like put it away or put it on the counter and walk away so it's not always in my pocket, that kind of thing. So I hadn't seen news of anything. So I'm watching this movie, and Daryl is looking at his phone for some reason, and he's like, "Oh, there's been an attempt on Donald Trump."
Yep.
As we're watching Civil War. I'm like, what is going on? Why is everything
reality is weirder than television and movies?
It is ridiculous. Also, again, call back to like everything coming back to current life situations. There was an episode in The Boys that directly was relating to the issue that I was dealing with my dog, also happening in that show.
Okay. So not a plumbing issue. At first I thought you were going to say plumbing issue.
I mean, depends on if you consider genitals plumbing or not, but...
No.
Yeah. But yeah. When you see that episode, you'll know what I was watching around the time that I was dealing with Butters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was everything was just falling into place, coinciding. It was eerie.
Maybe you should watch more movies so you can predict your future.
Oh my gosh. I need to watch more comedies.
That's true. That's true. Well, I have some movies that help with that, but not till later.
Go for it.
First is Mad Max Furiosa.
Ooh. Which I can't even begin to hope that you would like this movie, because all the movies I sometimes like or really like, you have not liked. So I'm going to temper my expectations.
You sounded like you were in love with this movie when you talked about it.
I did.
I found it to be a Mad Max movie. It has good parts and it has meh parts.
Okay.
One thing I noted only things that I thought was like,
did you watch this on your phone while we were doing dishes?
No, I watched it on my computer while working, I think.
See, again, you're not watching it in the right. I went to the theater and had my full undivided attention. The cinematography,
Twice,
the colors, everything is beautiful. No, just once.
Okay.
I wanted to go twice.
Well, I wrote some notes that are just like, I wish they wouldn't have done this. So one thing is, I saw way too much that I thought was obviously CG people. Mm-hmm. And they look wrong, right? It's like, oh, come on, you're spending so much. Everything looks so good, and then you just like Blade 3 it up here, or Blade 2 it up, where it's like, that's a CG person. They don't look right. They don't move right. It's just, so close.
That is one thing I did notice, is there's a lot more CG use in this movie than the other ones.
And the other thing that's similar to that is there was a lot of weird spots where they speed up the film to make it look like a vehicle's going faster, to make it look like someone's... I think at one time they even slowed down. Can't remember, but it was the guy with him on the motorcycle, and his foot was hurt or something. I forget, but it was just weird speeding up. Like, it's like, this isn't original Mad Max. You don't need to do that to make a car look fast.
Yeah,
and it is too obvious that they had done that. It was several places. I'd have to watch it again to find it. But
I know. That
agreed. They could have done it as an homage. Yes, I agree. Yeah. I thought about that too, but when I saw it more times and they looked bad, it bothered me a little bit, because it took me out of the movie. The CG people and that took me out of the movie. But yes, other than that, it's a fine, simple Mad Max movie. I don't expect it to wow me in intelligence, but it does in scenery and world and exactly. Yeah. And the maggot thing was neat. I was like, oh, they're like using maggots, using people, rotting corpses and stuff as like a way to harvest maggots, and I assume as food.
Yeah.
That was an interesting idea that like opens you into a part of that world you may not have thought of.
Yeah, and that's what George Miller is really good at, is finding the little details that basically world build.
Yeah,
and those are the details I like in Fury Road and this one. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of stuff is just like, it's so tiny, but unless you know why he did that, It's just kind of like a throwaway thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do like seeing like, okay, where do all these like, how did Bullet Town come, and how did Oil Town, or Gas Town, how did thing? Who are these Ravagers in Fury Road? I like seeing where they came from, and like how they developed over time to become what they are in Fury Road. You see the beginnings of them, so that stuff's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have 7 more.
Well, you can get some bonus points if you want to add that to your thing, because that was a recommendation from me as well.
Ooh.
So you remember.
I haven't actually even been checking my list. I need to check all of these against my list. Damn it, Josh.
You're welcome.
Why do you make more work for me?
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
Right? Yeah. Speaking of which, did you remember, were you doing Cartridge Club stuff when we made bets? No, I don't see your name in here. When we made bets on the Metroid Prime 4 release date?
I remember hearing about it, but I wasn't.
So it was way back in like 2017 or 2018.
Something like that, yeah.
And we made bets on when the date was going to be for it. This is totally unrelated, but I found it in my Google Drive, so that's why I thought of it. The longest far out date that everyone said was absolutely insanely stupid was FitNat, who had said 04/04/2024, and we're now past that date. I had said 2020, and everyone said I was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, crazy. That's just distraction. Crazy. But we were talking about
05/05/25. Do it in.
Right? Exactly. We were talking about the movie list. This one. That's where it was. I'll have to do that later too. Jesus, so much stuff to do later. Okay, I watched 2005's The Matador.
Is that Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan, yeah.
Okay.
And Greg Kinnear? I don't know. I can't say his name. Okay. Yeah.
I watched this movie a long time ago. I don't remember anything about it though.
It was better than expected. I don't know why it's been on my watch list forever to watch. Basically, globetrotting hitman and a crestfallen businessman meet at a hotel bar in Mexico City, an encounter that draws them together in a way neither expected, is the tagline. So Pierce Brosnan basically plays a hitman, and he's just kind of bored and lonely and starts talking to this random businessman, and he tells him he's a hitman basically, and he's like, yeah, right, prove it. They start, they go through a few hits beforehand to showing that he's a hitman before they ever meet and stuff. But it's an interesting story. It's neat. I like Pierce Brosnan. He's good. And the other guy did all right too. I don't know. He almost pulls me out with him having been in so many other things, and usually in like kind of a silly role. I can't even think of what he's been in the most. Guy. Yeah. And this does have little hints of that, but not really the way I expect or the way I see him. What do I even know him from? Is it Curb Your... No, not Curb. Is it Curb Your Enthusiasm movie that he's in? Anyway, that's not it. So something older, something 90s is what I'm picturing him in. But either way, doesn't matter. It's yeah. It was decent. Oh, yeah, that's the lot. I don't have any notes on that. So I have 2, 4, 6 more.
I've got 3. 4.
Okay. I'll do 2 at once here. All right. I went to my buddy's place on Saturday, I don't remember. Friday night, and he did a B-movie night because he was talking with somebody in his industry, in his world of tech startups, and someone mentioned to him a bad movie that they had just watched, and it was like not out yet, but he gave him access to like a screener code for it. So I think it's out now, but he said it was like out the day we watched it or a few days before or something like that. But it's called, I don't know if I want to try this, but Onsen Sharku. It's Japanese. It's Hot Spring Shark Attack.
Okay. From
2024. And it is a bad movie made modern day. It's hilarious and ridiculous, subtitled, sharks go through pipes at a hot spring and start attacking people and like making them disappear and killing them, and then their body shows up later somewhere else. And it has a feel of a Godzilla movie, where it's just the whole city is under attack and they need to stop this crazy force or these monsters that are attacking them. It was ridiculous. It was hilarious. The best part of it is like the random guy who shows up in the middle as like a hero unexpectedly, and they start doing camera tricks. They're like, what were they thinking? This looks so bad, but in a way that Big Shark looked so bad.
Okay.
They do that. Like, I even said, this is giving me Big Shark vibes at the very beginning.
I was gonna say, you start talking about sharks in hot springs. I'm like, this is.
It sounds very much, or it looks very much like that. Like the very beginning of the movie, they also do a funny thing where it's like a guy and his girlfriend are out on a boat, and she's swimming and a shark starts chasing her, and you think, oh no, this is gonna be the part where she gets killed by a shark, and that sets up the whole story like a Jaws type thing. Yeah. And instead, no, it's not what happens at all. You don't expect what's going to happen, but basically they both live perfectly fine. And that's just a funny twisting with tropes like you had talked about in other shows, where they don't do what you expect, and in that way it's hilarious. But they set up other things in that same part that's funny that I don't want to ruin in case anyone ever happened to watch Hot Spring Shark Attack from 2024. So after we finished that movie, my friend said, so what do you want to watch next? Because it was me, him, and another friend of his that were there. Actually, the guy who he was with, you remember my friend Albert that you met at the room?
Okay.
And his friend, actually his neighbor, Dean, was with him, and that's who came to the Bad Movie Night at his house the other day. So the two guys that were at the room that I knew were there watching bad movies, and they just basically, Albert said, what do you want to watch next? I had already taken bad movies to his house, and we watched movies at other events, but I brought like 30 movies, and we haven't made it through them all, and whatever. I brought 2 more this time, and one of which I started describing to him. I said, I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet, but I'm going to describe the actors. So 1994, okay. Paul Walker, Denise Richards, and the guy who plays Bernie at Weekend at Bernie's, which I think you said you've never seen Weekend at Bernie's.
I think I have, but I don't really remember a whole lot of it.
Okay, that's fine. And also the guy who plays Cousin It in Addams Family Values.
Okay.
It's a weird movie. But it's called Tammy and the T-Rex. So
I thought that
Denise Richards.
I've heard of this. I thought that was, what's the one with Whoopi Goldberg? That's not that one?
Nope, definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. So Denise Richards is a girl who likes Paul Walker, but she can't date him because her ex-boyfriend is going to beat him up.
Okay.
So he doesn't care, and he's like, I can take him. It's okay. They get in a fight, blah, blah, blah. The guy gets mad and brings all his friends, and they kidnap Paul Walker, beat him up, and then drop him off at a wild animal sanctuary. And a lion attacks him.
Of course.
So he's near death, and it just so happens that Weekend at Bernie's guy is a mad scientist who needs a brain to put in his robot T-Rex. Chaos ensues.
Perfect.
Yes. So Paul Walker's brain controls a robot T-Rex to save Denise Richards and get his body back. Yeah. It's a ridiculous but hilarious movie. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Okay, I have heard that name before, but I never knew anything about the movie.
Yep, I finally watched it. I hadn't seen it before this. I wanted to. It was on my list of bad movies to watch.
The one with Whoopi Goldberg is called Theodore Rex.
So
very close.
Oh.
She's a police officer, and she has a T-Rex as a partner.
Oh my god. I've seen this cover before.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, I guess we know what we have to watch. It's rated a 2.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yep.
Well, let's see if Tammy and the T-Rex could beat that. It is rated a... Come on. 5.3, so it's actually better.
Actually better. Uh-oh.
Like double as good.
That doesn't look good for the Theodore Rex.
No, it looks great for Theodore Rex. All right. I still have 4 more. You go with something.
All right. Well, I was camping, so I usually take movies with me, and I usually sit in the car after everyone goes to bed, and I watch movies. So I had heard of this movie a while ago. It's one of those, like, on one of those lists of, like, greatest 80s movies you've never heard about, or greatest 80s movies you've never seen.
Okay.
So I put on a movie called Streets of Fire.
Okay.
It has quite the cast in it. Got your favorite Willem Dafoe. He plays the bad guy. Rick Moranis.
As he does.
Rick Moranis is the club owner, promoter. Diane Lane is like the damsel in distress. There's even a very young Bill Paxton who shows up. And the main guy, Michael Paré. I don't even really know where he's from.
No. He has a upcoming movie coming out called Kung Fu Slayers in 2025.
Random.
That sounds great. It looks like a modern bad movie.
Anyways, yeah, it's basically girlfriend gets kidnapped, must go save girlfriend. Chaos ensues. Willem Dafoe is the leader of the biker gang that is taken over. It's
as he should be.
It's a movie. It's only rated PG. I think it should be rated higher than that, but there's a lot of violence, a lot of, like, I would say the movie's decent. It's not great. I'm not sure I would have put it on, like, the greatest 80s movies you've never seen.
Okay.
But it was an interesting watch. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Well, on IMDb, it's only rated 6.7 out of 10. So
almost as good as Tammy and the T-Rex.
No, slightly better.
Sorry, slightly better.
Yeah, slightly better. Yeah.
So, I mean, the Rotten Tomatoes scores have it at like 70%, which is pretty high, which I would consider good. But I don't know if I was just tired that night or it just wasn't resonating with me. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, as much as it had been hyped up. Because it's kind of got like this rock opera feel to it. It's got like Diane Lane singing like Meatloaf-esque songs, like rock ballads.
Okay.
And I almost would have preferred that if it was all of that. But it kind of starts that way and then changes into something else and then kind of goes back to rock ballads a little bit. I would kind of wish the whole thing would have been that. Almost
like bad writing, sounds like.
Yeah, like not quite sure what genre they wanted to be.
Yeah. Huh.
So.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. That's a movie. 1984, Streets of Fire.
Okay. You want me to do another?
Yeah, go for it.
1 or 2? What do you want?
You might as well do 2.
All right. So I had heard about this movie years ago, never really looked into it, but I recently saw it again on VHS collector groups. People just keep talking about this movie called Remote from 1993.
Okay.
I looked it up quickly, and it said it was written originally to be another Home Alone movie, which would have fallen in place, I think, as like Home Alone 3. But I saw a quick clip, and I'm like, oh, I know this movie. I watched this as a kid for sure. It's basically Home Alone if he's in a model home in a neighborhood where they're building houses to sell. And he fights the bad guys using remote control cars, remote control helicopters, remote control airplanes, remote control rock climbing guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember this movie for sure. So I watched it with my kids, which I don't always like watching a movie for the first time or like not remembering if it's good or not for the kids. But I'm like, it's supposed to be a Home Alone movie. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. And there was nothing really bad about it. It was like some poop jokes and stuff like that. But I think that's as far as it really went. Poop jokes and something about getting hit in the balls or something like that. I think. Yeah, it was pretty funny, and it was decent for what it is. And I definitely had
as good as you remembered it being.
Probably like not as good as I remembered.
Okay.
Only because like remote control cars, it was like super cool when I was a kid, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And this kid was like his parents were clearly loaded, and they kind of bring that up in the story as like why his parents are never around. Is he's loaded, so he has tons of toys, and his parents are busy working.
Yeah. You got to pay for all those toys.
Right? And there was somebody... I swear people in it looked familiar, but maybe they only looked familiar because of this movie. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. There's this one guy's in a ton of movies, but The Lucky Ones, Pearl Harbor, Lost Souls, Purgatory, Con Air. He plays Poe's lawyer in Con Air. Anyway, he's in tons of stuff, but he plays one of the bad guys in this movie. Yeah. It was a silly, fun movie. Remote. The next thing that I watched. I don't know why, but I just was like, yeah, wasn't this a thing? And why wasn't it ever something people talk about? The New Mutants. I don't remember if it's actually... Yeah, The New Mutants.
That's a movie?
Yes. I'm like, this is a TV show, right? I look it up, I'm like, no, this is a movie.
Sounds like a TV show.
Weird. I was actually trying to remember if this is even tied to anything Marvel or so it says Warner Records. I don't know. I don't think it's Marvel or DC related.
From
what I'm
2020?
seeing.
Movies from 2020, that one?
Yeah, I kept thinking this was Marvel related, but it doesn't look like it actually is from what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Anyway, oh yeah, it says based on the Marvel Comics team of the same name. It's a spin-off of the X-Men film series. Oh yeah, they do mention X-Men in it. Yes, that's why. But movie overall, kind of meh. It serves its purpose, but it's kind of like focused at a younger audience. Not really young, more like teenagers.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of like, oh, these girls like each other kind of situation that you often see in those movies where they're playing it up as like, you know, we're modern, we're hip.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
And also because it was Marvel, I'm like, I wonder if there's going to be a stinger at the end. No after credit stinger at all.
Nothing.
I don't know whether that shows that they had no faith in this movie or why. I never really looked into the history of the movie and the making of the movie or anything like that. I'm just like, I heard this is a thing. I like mutants. Let's see. And it had its moments, and it was neat, but it was kind of like they didn't put enough time into establishing the characters' powers and what they're there for or anything like that. They tried to make everything a surprise, but
yeah,
I don't feel like it worked out. But
I mean, I'm recognizing a lot of people that got a pretty good cast. Got Maisie Williams. She's from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes, her. Joy. Yes, I recognize the girl from Game of Thrones right away. I'm just like, oh, so this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Anya Taylor-Joy played like she had like a Russian accent in this. It almost felt like it had
Ilyana Rasputin, so yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Heaton, he was from Stranger Things. Alice Braga, she's the one that she was the one that made it the biggest out of that City of God, that Portuguese movie.
Oh, okay. For a second there, when I first saw her in this movie, I'm like, is that Selma Hayek? But clearly was not. It was just the very first beginning. She was dressed as a doctor. I'm like, I kind of hope it's Selma Hayek.
I always hope that.
Yeah.
Always. Adam Beach is in there.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it's not something we've really even heard of much. Yeah. Or we both thought it was a TV show.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like such a generic name, right? So
yeah.
I think I kind of remember hearing about this. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Oh, Marilyn Manson does a voice in it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, the smiling man.
Yeah. That's actually pretty funny.
Okay. I might check it out. It does look kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's nothing special, but it's just to have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And one last thing.
All right, I got...
Oh, no, two. Sorry, I have two last. So yes, you go.
Okay.
You go.
Right.
I have two more. I skipped one by mistake.
So here's a movie that we've talked about before that I swear I've seen before.
Okay.
Watching it again, I have not seen this movie before. I think I've seen enough clips of it to think that I've seen all of it, or talk to people about it that I think I've seen enough of it.
I've had that with movies. There's one that I had that with recently, and I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, I've seen this movie. I'm like, no, I don't remember this whole section of it.
Yeah. And the movie is Guns Akimbo.
Oh.
Right?
You what?
I swear I've seen this movie. I swear I've seen it. But the whole time I watched it, I'm just like, I don't remember this.
I want another one. It was good.
I don't remember this. So,
speaking of which, I mean, Boy Kills World, we need to see, because that feels like this.
Very similar, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically about a guy there's a reality show about two people being pitted up against each other to the death. Whoever wins moves on. He is basically online troll who gets caught by the organization. They bolt guns to his hands and say, "You are next, go." And he doesn't want to fight, and basically kind of blunders his way to the end to take down the organization instead of having to fight. The ending is a little bit, it's pretty cliche, but probably did that on purpose. Yeah, it is good. It's Daniel Radcliffe, again, breaking out of that Harry Potter stereotype that he's been in, or he was trying to get out of anyway. So
I'd say he did it.
He did, yes. So it's been good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Good.
Action was good. Comedy.
Good. I don't need to hate you. Not that I love the movie, but it was.
I don't hate
good.
Everything you like either.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got two more.
Okay.
So
I have two more as well.
All right, I'll do one then. Wait, do you have any Cage?
I do have Cage, yes.
Cage in addition to the two?
Yes, two Cage in addition to the two.
Okay, so I'll let you go first then.
Okay. So today, while working, randomly I watched the movie Thunder Force from 2001. It was a Netflix movie.
Okay.
Starring, what is this lady's name again? Melissa McCarthy and
you've lost me already.
Octavia Spencer, who I recognize from so many things. Bobby Cannavale, I recognize him from stuff. Jason Bateman is in it as well. There's other people that I know from things but don't remember who and what. But Ben Falcone, I recognize him too. And Kevin Dunn is in it as well. Anyway, basically, two girls in school become friends because one's a nerd and one's a punker, rocker, metal head that no one understands. And the one girl's parents were killed because the whole world is inhabited by superheroes randomly chosen for mutations, but the randomness only applies to psychopaths.
Oh, okay.
So basically everyone with powers is a bad person.
Bad person, yeah. Okay.
So this girl's family is killed. She spends her entire life trying to continue their research to give normal people powers to fight back.
Okay.
It's way dragged on, but that's fine. It's not surprising. It's eventually the two of the girls get powers and they fight bad guys. It's basically the moral of the story, and of course they win. But it's neat. I felt like it was kind of thrown together or something. and maybe it's because it's Netflix. I don't know what it is. The story has a cool premise that only psychopaths have powers, and how you're going to deal with that, and how you can stop them. Mm-hmm. But there were definitely really funny parts, and I felt like they did a good job of the movie. Like the everything quality-wise was good. It just felt like there was some kind of cheese or something that wasn't quite right, or I wasn't getting, or something like that. But it was decent. I'd watch it again. It has a 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb, but it was decent, I thought. Okay. I liked the world of it, where it's like these two with the powers. Sorry, the bad guys having powers is a neat idea, and how you're going to stop them. And the humor in it was good, and I think that's partly the Melissa McCarthy thing. It's just like random stupid humor sometimes. Okay. Like they do stuff that they don't need to do at all. Like as part of getting the powers, there's injections. She gets the injections, and it shoves needles in her face unexpectedly, basically. But one time she's going to get the injections, and she kind of just covers her face a little bit, and the injections go directly in her boobs. And it's just like, what the hell? And then the girl explains it away as, oh yeah, this needs to go into your pec muscles, and that's why. But it's just stupid little jokes that are throwaway, but they're actually kind of funny and clever under the surface. So there's a lot of things that are like that. And having Jason Bateman, right? I said Jason Bateman? Yeah, Jason Bateman in there helps with that kind of stuff, because he's good at that kind of clever but stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Cool. His dialogue follows that a lot. Clever but stupid. Yeah, that was Thunder Force.
Thunder Force. All right.
From 2021.
It takes a lot of convincing for me to consider a Melissa McCarthy movie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's fine. she's offset by the other girl in it, who's more serious, and that helps. Yeah, it helps. She's not as zany as you would expect her to be in another type of movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And my last one, which I also watched today while working, is The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy. Okay.
With Ryan Gosling, 2024.
Yep, he's the stunt
man movie. Yeah, exactly. So I really liked how they were like featuring stuntmen, basically. Like, here's a movie about stunt people. It's a neat idea that I can't think of it being done before. It was obviously high budget, well done, and I see it advertised everywhere all the time, and it was kind of weird and vague advertising, I felt like. Okay. Did you see that or not really?
I don't really pay attention to advertising.
Okay. If I see a movie trailer thing and it's like something that's actually interesting, then I pay attention to it. But I've been seeing these ads for like the last, I don't know how many months. And I think I saw another one the other day, and that's what made me just check it. And I think it was on Yourplex. And I'm like, sure, I'll check it out. So yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. It was good. It felt like the good parts of a Bond movie, or a little bit of John Wick where he can't be defeated kind of thing. But it was also really clever and funny. At the same time. It was, I wrote down fun action love story. I feel like you could sit down and watch this with your wife. Probably. There's some parts where maybe there's too much action for some wives. Like, I don't know if my wife would really want to see that part, but the love story part just they keep tying it in, but in a not shove it in your face kind of way. And then they even do like breaking the fourth wall type, but not with talking to the camera, but like, they're talking about the movie that they're making in the movie. And he says, do you think we should use a split screen part here for the guy and the girl? And while they're doing that, they do a split screen part for the guy and the girl that are talking on the phone. And then they do silly things like they're talking about the movie, but they're really talking about their own relationship. So it's kind of funny. And then she randomly walks over to the prop department, and she's just looking at the costumes, and she throws a glove on, which is like a crazy alien glove. And then she just keeps walking around with that on, holds it up to her face, and like stroking her eye with the glove of the claw of the alien while they're having this serious conversation on the phone. Okay. It's just fun, funny, silly, keeping it lighthearted when trying to do something. Yeah, yeah. And they don't make it a big deal, but it is funny to have there.
Yeah.
And that stuff like that just happens over and over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It was good. That was The Fall Guy.
It's on my Plex for a reason. I will get there.
And you should.
I will.
I don't even know if I watched it off your Plex or Morgan's. I'm not sure. All right, that's all I got for movies other than
Regular
KG.
movies?
Yeah, regular movies.
Last of my regular movies. Last night, again, we got back. Everyone, we were unpacking and whatever, and so we just got cheap dinner. And I was just gonna we're just gonna watch a movie. Like,
well, what's cheap dinner? You need to just expand on that. Bill's gonna want to know.
Like peanut butter and jam sandwiches.
Okay.
Ramen noodle from Zare's.
Hey, that's a solid meal my daughter would love.
Yeah, it was cheap and easy, and it was just kind of like, let's just get through tonight. We didn't have any energy after the end of the day, so like we're just gonna watch a movie and have dinner, and then put the kids to bed.
At first, you said cheap dinner. I'm like, oh, so you went to like some discount burger place and picked up burgers and fries or something like that. That's what I pictured you saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just because we had no groceries, so Melissa went out and got food. It was like, here's some cheap stuff from the grocery store. All right. Anyways, I mentioned before that I read stories with my son, or I read books with my son, chapter books. So we did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory last month.
Yes.
So, and then this month we did James and the Giant Peach.
Yes, you said you were going to. Yeah.
Yep. So we finished that book. He really liked it. So then last night I'm just like, you know what? Now's the time. So I downloaded James and the Giant Peach. We put it on Plex and we watched it. So this is a Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is up there with. This is a strange Disney movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember liking the movie, but watching it again as an adult, it's very like kind of disjointed and odd, and
it's hard to follow.
It's hard.
What's
to follow.
real and what's not? Well,
that's also kind of like the author Roald Dahl. He writes. Okay. It's a fantasy. It's a storybook stories kind of thing. It is supposed to be off the wall. It is supposed to be strange. So it's not that so much that bothers me. It really bothers my wife. She doesn't like it at all. But I remember enjoying it when I was a kid.
None of it bothered me until it comes to the end, and it's like, oh, so it is supposed to all be real. So that's the part that confuses me.
The book is different than the movie.
Which is why I kind of thought you were going to say that.
Again, this is one of the first. My son is realizing that movies are different than the books because things happening, and he's looking at me like, this didn't happen in the book. Like in the book, the ants at the beginning, they get squished by the giant peach. They get squished as thin as paper, and that's the end of them. You never see them again. Right. But in the movie, supposedly they drove their car through the ocean and got to New York just as James did at the exact same time. They climb out of the car and then they have to have a big debate over whether James belongs to them and the peach belongs to them or not. Right? And it's just kind of unnecessary for closure, quote unquote. But that bit aside, I found like the music was not what I would call contemporary. Like it didn't really rhyme the way I would expect music to rhyme. It didn't follow like conventional musical patterns that I expected it to be. So like I wouldn't say like the music wasn't very good. Like the songs weren't great. The animation looks great though. I'll give it that. The transition from like real life to claymation and stuff like that. And they completely changed one of the sections in the book, in the movie. There's a spot where they go into the clouds and they fight cloud men. Oh. And that doesn't happen in the movie. In the movie, they go into the ocean and they fight skeletons, pirate skeletons.
Yeah, okay.
One of them being Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
He plays the captain. And even the centipede walks in and goes, "Oh, a Skellington." So, and then if you look in the producer credits, there's a producer credit for Tim Burton.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was just a little fun nod I noticed. So, yep. So we have James and
But is he
Peach.
voiced by?
There's no voices. It's just
Okay.
them just fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
So. My son said he liked it, but I don't know if he really did. He was just kind of like, yeah, it was good. Okay. Good. But I don't see him like wanting to watch it again, kind of thing. But I don't know. When I was a kid, I watched stuff that my parents didn't understand either. So.
Yeah. Well.
Who knows?
It's been a while since I saw James and Giant Peach, so I can't comment too much.
Yeah.
Like just over a year. That's all. I do have a VHS tape with it with commercials, though. I know because I edited the commercials out of that recently. Well, I had a VHS tape. It's gone now, but I have a recording unless I deleted it. Unless I deleted the recording because I finished editing. I don't know for sure.
Fair enough. Well, that's it for regular movies.
Okay. Me too. I have 2 cages.
All right. Well, we can sandwich it. I got 1, so you do you, then me, then you.
All right. Well, I went on Plex, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that, or 3, and I wanted to find, or I saw a movie. I wanted to watch a movie, and I went by. Lately, I've been going by what's the highest rated movies that I haven't seen in Plex, and I went and found Drive, which also happens to have Ryan Gosling. Well, then I start watching it, and it's not Drive from 2011. It's Drive Angry from 2011 with Nicolas Cage. So after correcting the file name, I'm good, and I continued to watch it. And I wrote really bad CG. Like there's some really, really bad CG in that movie. I don't think they were trying to. I think it's just a product of its time and budget, probably. I wrote silly but fun because the story's ridiculous. But it's I like the concept. It's a fun concept. The movie was done decently, and it was all right. I don't regret watching it, and plus it's Nicolas Cage anyway. So
yeah.
And I rated it in our Cage rankings here somewhere. So of course I closed that out. Oh no, it's up here. Okay. Yes. I
have Drive Angry on 3D Blu-ray. You could have had some really good points for that.
Yeah, on my TV that's sitting behind me here in 3D.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to hook up to it to do with 3D other than PlayStation 3, which is hooked up to my good TV. So I don't want to.
PlayStation 4 would do it too.
That's also hooked up to my good TV. I don't want to unhook stuff. You want to see my rat's nest? I have a 14-port HDMI switcher that's completely full.
You just take the input out. Or do you
unplug
the PS4?
The cables are all nicely run.
No, I'm saying you unplug the console and you put a new HDMI cord out to your other one.
Yeah, that's annoying. And the console also goes into an HDMI splitter because I need to strip the HDCP encryption.
Do it for the points.
I don't care about the points. I also probably already have D used. Yeah, I already have Dune 2 on there, which is more points. So.
Yeah, I actually probably would have been about the same. Nicolas Cage plus 3D Blu-ray plus new movie.
I don't know. I don't want to. New movie. New movie doesn't count, but movie theater.
It's a new movie for you, as I mean.
Oh, I got you. It only counts if it's a new movie. You don't count any points if it's not a movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you get 1 plus the...
I rated it as a C. That might be a little high. I don't know for sure. I rated it after having watched it, and then a week or 2 went by.
You've also changed this whole form to now drop down.
Yeah, Google suggested it on the Google Drive. It's like, hey, do you want to use a drop down for all these values rather than typing them manually? I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't like the colors it chose, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure I could customize them if I cared.
Probably.
You're still 10 movies behind me. That's all that really matters.
But you've updated this because last night I was just like, oh, I'm within 8 movies. And now you're...
And then I watched 2.
And you watched 2.
Well, I watched one a while ago, and I watched the other one today. Yes.
How many movies did you watch today? 3 movies?
Way too many. Yeah.
Man. Only had to work or something, you know?
I worked. Yes, I watched 3 movies today. Well, New Mutants I started the other day, so.
All right.
I finished it today.
So I had this movie on the docket to watch while I was camping. The new movie. Next one in my thing. Called Adaptation from 2002. I knew nothing about this movie, and having just come off of Sunny
all the time.
Yeah, having just come off of Sunny last episode with you, which was okay. I was just like not super excited about adaptation. I don't know what it was. I could not find the motivation to watch it. I was like, I'll take it to the camp with me and I'll watch it there.
Okay.
I did not watch it at camp because I'm just like, it's not what I want to watch. I want an action movie. I don't want to watch a movie I have to think. I want to watch something good. And adaptation was just like an unknown quantity. So last night I'm just like, all right, well, I need to get a Nicolas Cage movie in for the month. So I'll buckle down last night and I'll watch it. What a surprise hit this movie is. I'm going to spoil the rating right now. I marked this down as an S.
Wow.
I did not expect... maybe that this also could be part of it, is I expected nothing out of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting this down as a Nicolas Cage S. I'm putting it down as a movie S. The movie is fantastic. Nicolas Cage is fantastic, but not in the way that we expect Nicolas Cage to be. He's very down to earth. He's very nuanced. He's very professional in what he's doing.
Okay.
So this is about a screenwriter called Charlie Kaufman, who is tasked with writing a screenplay based on a movie or a book called The Orchid Thief.
Okay.
And it's basically just about a person who's obsessed with orchids, that kind of thing. Nothing much happens, nothing changes, people don't move. And Charlie Kaufman, if you don't know, he's a very talented screenwriter. He writes very cerebral movies. He wrote Being John Malkovich, which is, from what I've heard, a great movie. It's a black spot in my watch history. I haven't seen it, although now
I started watching it years and years ago, and I did not understand anything because I didn't know who John Malkovich was back then.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, is you have to know more about it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who Charlie Kaufman was. I didn't understand the whole thing. As I got into it, I watched it. But basically, this movie is about the making of this movie.
Okay. Hence adaptation.
Adaptation. But it's very like, it's layered. It's about how people adapt, and if you don't adapt, you die. And that kind
Ogres
of thing.
have layers,
like onions.
Yeah.
It's very, I don't know. It's hard to say a lot about it without sounding like, I don't want to sound pretentious because there's more going on in this movie.
It's fine. You usually do.
Usually, yeah, I know. I should just be used to this. But basically, he starts the movie with basically like, this is an impossible task. I don't know how to do this. How do I write a movie about this book? But you're watching the product that it is happening in front of you as he's struggling to do it, and it's just watching Charlie Kaufman as Nicolas Cage, or Nicolas Cage, sorry, as Charlie Kaufman, fight his way through this script, and you just see all that awkwardness transferred onto the screen.
Okay.
It's very, very interesting how they do it. Here's the thing. So it's a true story. Technically, it's a true story, and it almost looks like they filmed this because there's scenes of like Being John Malkovich in this movie. Charlie Kaufman is a real person. He's played as Nicolas Cage, and they bring it up in the movie. Oh, I'm Charlie Kaufman. I wonder who will play me in the movie. Nicolas Cage is saying this as Charlie Kaufman playing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of this happening. And other characters saying who's gonna play me. It is a star-studded cast. It has Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, Chris Cooper, Tilda Swinton, Roger Willie. By the way, he plays a Native American. He was in Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage as well.
Okay.
There's a bunch of people in this movie you're gonna see and be like, I know who that is. I know who that is. So it's great. It's great.
Okay.
So the whole thing is a real movie, until it's not. So take like Weird, like, you know, the Weird Al Yankovic movie where like it's a true story but it's not a true story.
Yeah, yeah.
Take bits of that, but from 2002 kind of thing. So like what happened way before. So I don't know. It was fantastic. It's not a Nicolas Cage movie. So if you're not gonna watch this movie because it has Nicolas Cage in it, that's not the reason to not watch this movie. He is not he is not cagey at all in any way. He's just actually being a good actor. Every other movie we've had him in that I have marked S has been like Con Air. What's the other one? Face Off. Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, no, that was my rank. Was that? Trying to find your rank. S is there. That's adaptation. Vampire's Kiss, yeah.
So all the other S's, I've marked S's because they are super cagey, because I like how cagey he is. And that's what makes that movie for me. This movie is like the opposite. He is so not cagey. The movie's just actually so good because of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's what he said. He does one movie for himself, one movie for his agent, and one movie for the art of doing movies.
Yeah.
Was what Nicolas Cage once said he does for his like plan of what movies he accepts.
I was gonna do, yeah. I don't know which one this was because it was good in all sense. Like it looks like he had fun doing it. So anyways, the people, like I said, the people are in it. There's people that are, he's writing negatively about people, but these are real people in real life. The Orchid Thief, the book that he has to adapt, is a real book. You can go and buy that book and read it. And he has to translate it or adapt it into a screenplay. The author, her whole life story that happens in the movie is real until it's not real. And it's just kind of like, I would say there's look up a YouTube video after you watch the movie to see what's real and what's not real. But it's I just found the whole thing's like super entertaining. Anyways. I would recommend this to anybody to watch.
So you should have. Sometimes you need to tell me what movie you're going to watch, or tell me what movie you did watch, so I can watch it as well. We can have a conversation about it at the same time. Not that you're going to forget this one anyway, but
yeah. But
whenever I do watch it, you'll have lots to.
This was just like, again, it was last minute last night, and I had zero expectation. I was like, I have no idea this is going to be good at all or not.
Why'd you pick this one?
It was just the next one on the list.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was next.
Next
okay, it was. Yeah, 2002.
Next is Matchstick Men, and then National Treasure right after. Woohoo!
Yes.
And Lord of War. National Treasure and Lord of War are like two of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies.
I've seen both Lord of War and Matchstick Men.
I could probably give Lord of War a score. I've seen it so many times. But
I probably could too.
I will watch it again. And we're getting really close to watching World Trade Center for Kevin. He really wants to guess
Oh, really?
He wants us to recommend it to him so that he can get points before he watches it.
Because it starts with a W.
Yeah.
And he has it on HD or HDTV or not?
Yeah. Okay. But by the way, Kevin, if you're listening to this, you can watch it now, and then if we recommend it after, you can still add the point retroactively.
I mean, that's what he's probably doing anyway. He's already seen it.
I don't think so. I think he actually is waiting for a recommendation. Anyways, you don't have to wait for us. Just saying. But it is within striking distance.
I can't see World Trade Center being recommended.
I don't know. I
didn't think I heard good things about it, but I don't remember anymore.
I don't know either. I don't know if it would be a recommendation, but we'll see. We'll see. I am keeping an eye out for The Weatherman on VHS, because that would be a W for me on VHS. Nicolas Cage. And I got a couple to get there, but I'm having to watch.
All right.
All right. What's your next one?
But not that Weatherman, right? Isn't there two movies called The Weatherman?
I don't know.
I thought there was. I'm not seeing it, so maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy.
There's The Family Man and then The Weatherman.
Yeah, for some reason I thought there's another one. Anyway, so I watched also today Gone Gone in 60 Seconds.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. So I watched it a long time ago. I don't think it was when it first came out, but it was at some point after, and I remember liking it. I didn't notice how many things that people quote are from this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I didn't write any of them down. I should have, but I'm like, hey, that's something people say all the time. I should have wrote them down, but there's at least 3 times during the movie where I'm like, oh, that's something I've heard people say out of context, not knowing what it's from, or not realizing what it's from.
Yeah.
Oh, the very beginning, the stranger. That's the first thing, right off the beginning of the movie. Okay. Sit on your hand for you don't know what I'm talking about. You do.
I don't remember offhand, no, but okay.
Okay, well, it's a dirty joke. It's like sit on your hand for 15 minutes, and then it goes numb.
Yeah, gotcha.
That thing.
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a quote necessarily, but I'm assuming that popularized that concept.
Yeah. Probably,
anyway. Yeah. I said it's not very cagey, really. Like he's not that cagey in this movie.
No, not really.
But it's a great high budget, good production movie overall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was good.
Yes. Definitely.
You marked it as an A, and I have it as a B.
Yes.
I believe it was just because I remember it being better than it was. I believe that's why I was affected.
That's a fault of you.
Yes, probably.
Well, I still need an E, an I, a Q, V, X, Y, Z number.
Okay.
In my list.
No, you got 8mm, didn't you?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Hence why it's not rated yet.
Oh, you haven't rated it? Oh, you haven't?
Nope.
Okay.
I have not.
And City of Angels.
It's sitting here, 8mm sitting here on VHS from you.
If you can watch 8mm and City of Angels, you have watched all the movies I've watched. Like, up to this point.
Yeah.
Other than, and Captain Curly's.
But you don't own City of Angels on VHS yet, so...
I do.
It's not here. You gave me the other ones.
Well, I just got it not that long ago.
I thought I remembered you getting it, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. And I have Windtalkers on VHS. And I have Captain Corelli's Mandolin on VHS.
Well, this isn't helping me watch them.
You know what? You can come to my house too, you know.
You're like driving by here, aren't you? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I want to find you the Weatherman VHS so you can spend more money.
$2.
So you can have more collection.
Yeah, exactly. We are still working towards that VHS. Sorry, I'm still working towards the Nic Cage VHS collection. I haven't got anything new. Like the past week before vacation, I was super busy. I didn't have time to stop at Thrift. And then obviously he was gone last week, so didn't go to Thrift. So yeah, I'm gonna try maybe the next couple weeks. Try to make a bit more of an effort to get out, but work's been busy, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, is that an episode for us?
It might be. What am I check my list here? I think I still have no update on the N64 challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought a thing. I bought a thing that's sitting here. I went to Thrift on Kent, and for $15, come on, the cord is stuck on another thing. For $15, I bought a visual equalizer, which I'm going to use to hook up to the VHS tape VCRs. But it looks like somebody modded it with a switch here. I don't know what that's for yet.
Interesting.
I went and looked at pictures of it on eBay, and that switch is not there on any of those. And someone has labels written on it, record and playback. So I'm hoping they didn't mess with the internals much or something.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's supposed to do 2 separate devices, but I don't know for sure. We'll see. I bought that for $15, thinking I'm going to use it. I haven't hooked it up, and it's been almost a month. So, but I have to reorganize these VCRs because some of them need repair. Like one of them's it's messing up every tape it plays because the head's too high or too low. I can't remember. It needs to be adjusted. So, yeah. Another one has another problem. I forget what it is now. I should have really labeled them with what the problem was, but you know, memory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've done some tape recording. Done lots of commercial posting. Yeah.
Same old.
Pretty much. Checking my list to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I did not.
Well, It's late. So we should call this... Bill's already gone, so bye, Bill. Eric doesn't take forever to listen to our episodes now, so hi, Eric, when you get to this. It's apparently Mrs. Q Dog that takes forever to listen to this.
By her own proclamation.
Yes.
Proclamation?
So.
Proclamation.
Say hi when you finish the episode so we can track your progress, please. That's gonna do it from us, everybody. Thanks for listening. Happy August, I guess.
August 1st is International Mahjong Day, just so you know.
I think I have Mahjong on my computer anymore.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm sure it's online somewhere.
It's gotta be. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the